This is Rugby Radio. Rugby Radio with Stuart Cameron.
Hello and welcome to Rugby Radio, which today is covering the BSPC Border League match between Kelso and Gala, but we're also at Riverside Park, keeping an eye on the other game in the competition between Jed-Forest and Selkirk, and we'll be crossing over to Euan Welsh shortly, who's at Riverside Park for us this afternoon, covering that one. But we've got David Ferguson and Matty Douglas with us today for live commentary of this one, and let's bring in David first of all. And David, it doesn't really feel like the start of a season because we've hardly had a break, have we?
Well, I suppose that's true, but I think today, we've got the sun out here at Poynder Park, we've got windy out there, but a lovely sunshiny day, and it just feels like the start of the season for me. The grass is well cut, a wee bit long probably, as the groundsman likes to leave it, so that they can get the games under the belt and not lose any of that. So it has a real start of season feel for me today, Stuart.
There's a bit of a threatening black cloud over there, and I understand Jed-Forest, we'll check this with Euan very shortly, but it's chucking it down at Jed.
Well, there's probably not a surprise. Kelso and Jed live in two different climates altogether, I think, sometimes. But it's quite amazing. Hopefully that stays away from us. I was just speaking to some of the players out in the pitch, and there was little spots of rain, but there's not supposed to be rain this afternoon. So we hope, as you say, that black cloud will clear away from Poynder Park and across the tops of the houses, and we'll not see it this afternoon. That'd be quite nice if it stays in Jed. Sorry, Euan. Hopefully it moves on from you and Jed down there as well, and we both get some enjoyable afternoon rugby.
Yes, it's also already started down there. They've got a family fun day down there as well, so as I say, Euan will bring us up to date on that one. But it's a new name on the Border League. Title sponsors BSPC, and a welcome cash boost for local rugby, which is obviously very welcome. Yeah,
really important that, but it works two ways, Stuart. I'd like to think that the work that's been put in by these local clubs, the border clubs, over the last couple of seasons, particularly coming back from COVID, they've really generated an interest in the clubs. We've seen big crowds, and that's where sponsors have something to gain. Local businesses get involved in clubs, get involved in competitions like the Border League. They get a bit of exposure, and that's what it was always about. And it's tremendous for BSPC. As we know, the clubs need money to keep themselves going. They're just community clubs, but it takes a lot to be able to keep a club going behind the scenes. But also, clubs like Kelso, they don't pay money to players. There's not a lot of money going out there, but they're bringing in a couple of players today that we'll see for the first time. Oscar Davey coming across from Ireland, and they've got a couple of Kiwis, Nick Barnes at hooker coming in, and I understand Nick is being put up. They're finding a flat for Nick, and he's found himself some local work, so they don't have to pay a lot of money. The boys have flown themselves across. There's another one on the bench, Josh White, as well for Kelso today, who's come across from New Zealand, although we'll talk later about his borders roots. But they're not having to put out money to pay them, but they're still having to find that sort of accommodation jobs to help them, the way that we always sort of did in Borders Rugby, to help strengthen these teams.
Of course, we've seen warm-up matches going on the last few weeks. There's been a Peebles Sevens and a Hoytlandine Sevens and a Gala Sevens, of course, the Marooned at Gala as well. But this is a competitive match, and a week before the season starts proper, the national season, this has got to be a good thing for all four teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is where showing the strength of the Border League. I think the problems it's had in fitting around the national leagues and expanded cup competitions, and SRU, Scottish Rugby, have really struggled to know how to really get the best out of some of these playoffs and competitions, and the inter-district championship and the cup competitions, and that's ongoing, the discussions there about how they improve that. But it's really good, I think, to see Border League come back, and the fact it can have this platform giving the teams that warm-up, I think it's great for the four clubs that are involved today, because at the end of the day, the players want good friendlies, they want matches that mean something in terms of building them up and getting them ready, but they also want to see fans out. Fans want to come out and see something that means something to them, and you could put on any level of Kelso Gala match and it will always bring people out to watch because it's natural border rivalry. So it's playing to the strengths of the Border League, I think. How much do you look into the pre-season? Because last week we saw Berwick put 61 points on Jed-Forest. Jed-Forest didn't score. Selkirk won 55-40 against GHA.
today. So if you're kind of like looking at it on paper, you'd think, oh my goodness, it's going to be one-way traffic today. But it doesn't work out like that, does it?
No, it's interesting because I think the teams that win and win well will say, well, that's a great indication that we're in a good place to go forward. The teams that lose will say, oh, don't pay any attention to pre-season. There's still lots we're doing. There's still a lot of work we need to do. But you would caution the teams that win well because I think you'll find that teams are at different stages of planning. We see that today. We'll see that today with Kelso and Gala. Now Gala, we know, are National 1. They're a team. They're a league below Kelso. Kelso have been used to Premiership now. Had a good season back in the Premiership. Gala have got boys at weddings today, boys on holiday today, boys with work commitments. So they're putting out a team that is quite an inexperienced side today. So a lot of young players in that team that I think Gala will hope that will go on and become real stalwarts of the club through the next decade, take the club forward. But a number of them just making their debuts or playing their first or second games today. So for Gala, I think they'll probably not, they'll not admit it, but they'll probably not expect to win this game today. But they'll be looking to see how they can blood some of these younger players, how they can start getting combinations working together, work out if some of these players have what it takes to go straight into a first 15 over the next few weeks, or whether they need more time. Kelso, on the other hand, they're putting out a really strong side. They're ready, they're wanting to prepare for Watsonians next week. They want to get their combinations gelling, working together, introduce a couple of new players they've got, and we'll talk later about Oscar Davey, the Irish standoff they've brought over. Looks like a really exciting talent, youngster there. They'll want to get them in as quick as they can and get used to the players around them. So I would expect quite a strong performance from Kelso today. They've already had a couple of games under their belt, whereas Gala will be hoping they can sort of develop some young players. So different ideas, they're looking for different things, but the season's come very quick. In a week's time the full league season's starting, so this game really will mean a lot for both of them.
Well, earlier on I had a wee chat with Lewis Bertram, who's the coach standing in for Euan Robbie, who's at a wedding today, so you'll hear from Lewis very, very shortly, looking after Gala. But first, a few words from the Director of Rugby at Kelso, and that of course is Neil Hinnigan. Well, Neil, here it is, the start of the 15 season, competitive rugby. How's it all been building up?
Yeah, not bad, Stu. Getting there. Boys are just sort of finding their feet fitness-wise, match-wise. Had a couple of run-outs already, so along with all the sort of hard pre-season work we've done, we feel we're in a decent place at the moment.
What sort of preparation do you go through? Obviously a lot of fitness work, I would imagine, to get everyone past the summer holidays, and obviously in a rugby state of mind. Yeah,
I think it's important because everybody allowed to do that. There's not a lot of time off, so we've tried to extend that as much as we could, and then we built in lightly at the start. We had a couple of weeks of just nothing too hard, and just built in, and then we went from there, and we really built up to some really high intensity training through Kenny Gibson, our S&C coach, and then Nicky obviously started on the rugby side of things and organisation, and it's just built away nicely. And we could maybe have done with a little bit longer just with some of the new combinations, but it's same for everyone, so we're okay.
And it's Border League. Border League still means a lot to all the clubs, doesn't it?
Yeah. Again, if you can get them fitted in at the right times and whatnot, I think most of the players enjoy it, and obviously the treasurers enjoy them as well, because there's usually a decent crowd, and and obviously you get the atmosphere of a bit of niggle and so on, and they're good matches, great preparation matches at this time of year. I think it's the last 2-3 seasons is really built in nicely. Most border teams are sort of teaming up with another border team for at least one Border League game before we start, and I think it fits in well.
Of course, this year, like last year, there's no bonus points. What's your understanding of that, and how do you feel about it? Personally, I like bonus points. I think it sort of gets you in the mood for scoring tries.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer the bonus point system if it was my own personal opinion, but that's up to the powers that be. If they want to do something a little bit different or traditional, then I don't think it makes a huge difference to the players or anything. I think they'll, the game's still the same game for them and everything like that. I don't think their mind will be too much on that. But personally, I would have bonus points. But today we just play for the 4 points that you can get.
And Kelso Gala matches are always rather feisty affairs, aren't they? And no different today.
No, I would expect to be pretty similar. I mean, the last time Gala were here, they beat us, I think, in National 1, which came as a bit of a surprise to some, but it shouldn't really. I mean, Gala Kelso games have been fairly, as I say, I'd say the last 4 or 5, I think, be 7-8 points maximum between the two teams. So very tight affairs, home and away. I mean, we had a terrible record up at Gala for years and years, and
that's right. Yeah,
we kind of sorted that out. And when the year we won National 1, we sort of got the monkey off the back. And then at the tail end of last year, we had 10 guys away with the South, and I think Gala only had 1 at the time. And I think everybody would have thought Gala would have beat us that day, and we managed to get a win up there, very last game of the season. So I think that just shows you that form does go out the window at times. Doesn't always, but it does at times in a Border League game. So this will be anyone's game. I would feel it'll just depend who settles in best. I would think first 20 minutes will be key.
Well, we can hear the wind on the microphone. It is a bit gusty out there today, and of course lovely dry conditions. It didn't seem like this time yesterday, but the pitch looking in great condition. And who do we credit for that?
Angus Roberts is one of our main men for that.
He's done a fantastic job.
He is not only a talented rugby player, even though he's not playing at the moment. He looks after it. We have a ground convener, which is Murray Walker, who's just come on as junior vice president, so he's going to be president in the future. And between the two of them, they sort of focal point that, and they do a fantastic job. I mean, the pitches, I've never seen Poynder in as good a condition as it's in at the moment. They've worked on it for the last 2-3 years, and it's really coming to fruition now that it's lovely. I mean, when Bertram were down, they hadn't been down here for a few years, and they were delighted with the surface.
Fantastic. Well, what's the team news today? Because we've got co-captains, of course, this season. Keith Melbourne in the pack, and Dwayne Patterson playing fullback today.
Yeah, both of them are sharing that role this season. We felt like it was a lot on Frankie's shoulders. He'd done a cracking job of it, and we just had people like Archie Cummins last year missed the whole season, although he was appointed vice captain. So things don't always go to plan when you do these things, and we just feel like we've got enough leaders that we could maybe change it up a little bit and give some responsibility around the team, and I'm sure they too will do a great job.
Well, looking at some of the new names, and that's always exciting. Oscar Davey, I think, has come from Ireland. Is that he's playing fly half?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's from the Limerick area. He was with young Munster after he came out of Old Present School, so he's been playing at a decent level school wise, and then he was involved with Ireland under 18s for a while. He had a couple of injuries and whatnot, and he was looking for a different opportunity, and just through some connections I managed to get a chat with him, and we've brought him here to start a sort of clean slate with his career. And we don't know how good he'll be at this level. This is a challenge for him, but the signs are positive at training, and he had a good 40 minutes against Biggar last week. Don't want to put too much pressure on him. I mean, he's a young lad, so he's finding his feet, but regarding potential and that, he's got a fair bit of it. So it's just, can we get the best out of him? Can we manage that? And I'm sure Nicky, if he applies himself, Nicky Walker will improve him as a player.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
Lewis Bertram, coach at Gala, is with me now at the back of the stand at Poynder Park. Back at Gala again, that's something you'll be very happy about.
It's been really good, Stuart. We've had a really good pre-season. It's nice to be back home, I suppose, where I spent all my playing time, so no, it's good. And
obviously enjoying it.
Yeah, loving it. Really young but good group of boys to work with as well, so no, excited, looking forward to today. See what today brings.
There's a lot of youngsters in your side, isn't there? I mean, I've been watching the likes of Jack Niven and McLaren as well coming through. There's a lot of good boys. You can add several names to that list as well. Very sort of hopeful sign for the future.
Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 young boys playing their first game today for Gala. There's we're struggling to get many boys over the age of 27 in the squad today. So it's really exciting for the future. Hopefully they thrive in this environment. It can often be a steep learning curve coming into border league games. This is what we want them playing though. Yeah, we want them to go hard here and show us what they can do getting into next week.
And of course it's National 1, and it's a new look Premiership, a new look National 1 for one season only. A lot of pressure involved, 3 going down, and there's only 10 teams in the league. So do the maths. It's it's something you're going to have to win your home games and pick up the points.
I think so. I wouldn't put too much pressure on ourselves straight away. I think we focus on ourselves and didn't worry about other teams. We look to set our standards with a fast start to the league. We've had a good pre-season. We'd have liked another game in there, but unfortunately Falkirk couldn't get a team a couple of weeks ago. But still, I think it's all about how we start and how we go on, and we'll go through there.
The morale must be good after last weekend. Your Gala Wanderers won the under-18s, coming back from a big deficit to Jed at half-time, but you always felt they were going to get up there, and they did. And then, of course, Gala winning their own sevens as well, which everyone was delighted about.
Yeah, there's been a right buzz about the club this week. It's been tremendous, actually. We've had players, on the text saying they want, players that haven't played for a few seasons saying they want to come back and play just on the back of that, and so it's been a really good buzz about the club this week. Training's been good as a result. I thought last week, actually watching much, know that I can offer you much about sevens. We were the best sevens team in the competition. I thought we played some excellent stuff. So no, I think that bodes well, hopefully, for the coming season as well.
What's also good, I think, is today it's a competitive match. It's a border league game, and to have something like this a week before the big game at home against Highland in National 1, I mean, that's like gold, isn't it?
Yeah, it really focuses the lads on what we've got to do. We're no coming down here, we're no Kelso or quality. They've got a big squad. They've got a big set of forwards, big set of backs as well, actually. Just a big team. So no, we have to be on our best. There's no slow starting here, or we will be under the caution. The boys know that. We've worked all week on that. So yeah, it gives us a real focus going into next week, and we're looking to hopefully implement what we want to do this week. Euan, Robbie, head coach, has worked really hard to get a game plan in place there, and Dean Keddy, their attack coach, so hopefully you'll see bits of that today coming into the game.
So it's a relatively new coaching setup, really. I mean, Dean's obviously been there a while, and Euan arrived last year from Selkirk in a coaching capacity. He's now the head coach as well. So it's a nice team that has obviously got to bond quick, and I know you're all mates as well, and that really makes a difference.
Yeah, it's been really good start. I've never really worked with you and Robbie before, but I played a lot with Dean when I was playing. So no, it's been a good start. Hopefully it carries on.
That's right.
Well together so far.
Well, you've got Highland next week. First up, at least you've got a home match, which is great, and I think you owe Highland a bit of a thumping, don't you, after last season?
I believe so. I believe that last season it's still a sore point for many of the lads, that last season were 20 odd points up with no long to go, and they threw that away. So I think that's a wee bit of a driver for coming into next week. But actually, I think it's just about getting off to a good start, having a quality day. Home match, as you say, is great. We'll hopefully get the place buzzing down at Netherdale. Last week was a real good start to it, and hope it may continue. Starting my way through that then.
Yes, well, it's going to be an exciting game, a competitive game coming up very, very shortly. Lewis, all the best.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Stuart.
There we are. That's Lewis Bertram and Neil Hinnigan talking to me earlier today. But as we mentioned earlier at Riverside Park, there's another Border League clash with Jed taking on Selkirk. We can bring in Euan Welsh to set the scene for us on this one, and also gives a bit of a weather forecast.
Yes, good afternoon from a now sunny Riverside Park, where Jed-Forest play host to Selkirk in the BSPC Border League. Selkirk arrive with a few new signings to face a Jed side who have hopefully emotionally recovered from last season's nightmare. Jed-Forest do have some new blood on the field as well, but their biggest addition is on the touchline, with Stuart Johnson coming in as head coach, and many in this stand today will be hoping that he is the answer ahead of the new season. It's a family fun day here at Riverside, and Jed will hope that the same emotion carries onto the pitch, especially with 3 competitive debuts for local youngsters, including Aaron Weatherhead at standoff. It's not all youth for the men in Royal Blue, of course, as experienced players like Gregor Young, Rory Marshall, Clark Skeldon and Robbie Shearer-Gibb all feature from the start today, and there's also a start in place for Director of Rugby, Paulo Ferreira, a player who has been doing the hokey-cokey with retirement. On the flip side, whilst it is a day of bouncy castles and balloons, Selkirk will be hoping to not head home deflated, and with new signs like Corey Tate and Jack Fisher in the park, we can expect an explosive performance from the suitors. Supporters are piling in as gusts of winds just flit with us a little here at Riverside Park. We're about 10 minutes away from kick-off, and I'll bring you all the updates as and when they happen in this border derby. But earlier this afternoon I caught up with both the coaches. Stuart, first few months in the job, what's it been like?
Yeah, look, really good, really happy with it, really positive. I mean, you can see today, like, the seconds are playing just now, or sorry, the Lions as we're now called, they're playing today. There's 20 boys there. We've got another 20 named against Selkirk, so yeah, can't be happier with the numbers and the attitude the boys have put in. It's been brilliant. And
have you been given like a clean sheet to work with in terms of coming into the job, or is it kind of you're learning off other people, or how's it working?
No, literally came in here clean from a rugby point of view. I'm in charge of the rugby side of things with Paolo as director of rugby, and it's just a clean sheet. Obviously they had a horrible time last season for various reasons, but all due respect to the boys, I've came in here, they've took on board everything that me and other coaches have said, took it in their stride. We've got numbers back here, everything's really good.
And you mentioned obviously the game on just now, the seconds game that's on just now. You've got 2 games, one after the other, so 2 full squads. What has the numbers been like at pre-season and whatnot?
We're probably averaging about 30 at a session, and then you've obviously, because you've got such a short off season, that includes holidays. We've got 5 or 6 farmers still away doing silage, etc., that aren't involved today, so you get these guys back. All the holidays are out the way now, so we should have, I would say, easily 35 guys Tuesday night if everyone's fit. Once the farmers start coming back in, look, we'll be up at 40, 45, and then there's the usual social players as well that don't really train but want to play for the Lions. We've got a few of those out there today, so in terms of actual overall numbers, we've got a list of about 55 players, so it's good in that respect, and I say numbers at training has been really good, so we've got everything covered that we need to.
And how have you been supported not only by the club but the community in whole?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I was up in Jed just the other day, and the amount of people that stopped and spoke to me and just said hopefully a good season and things like that. I mean, you can see today we've put on a big open day. It's free entry. There's kids try out rugby across there. There's a bouncy castle. There's a barbecue, face painting. There's a decent crowd here already. So no, the community's been really good.
And in terms of today's game, on paper people would say it's going to be a defeat because of the way that the two, you're in a league below. But how do you approach the game being the first competitive game of the season?
Yeah, look, everyone's got their views on Prem v Nat 1. Look, Jed are a Premiership side last season. As I said, they had a horrible season, but from what I've took, I don't think it was anything to do with the players. The quality's here. So we're just we're viewing this as a 15s game. Look, it's a border league game. It's a border derby. It'll be physical. It's a good day, so there should be some decent skills on show. There should be better running rugby. But look, we're up for this, and we're not coming here as to get beat. Our mindset is we're winning this game. Coming into it as underdogs, fine, suits me. I'm quite happy with underdog stats, but we'll get a better view of where we're at after today. But I'm expecting this to be competitive at least.
And for you personally, your first competitive game in charge, what's your kind of feelings been like last night into this morning?
I was excited actually. Yeah, look, I woke up this morning, the weather wasn't the best, took the dogs out, and then once the sun started coming out, the closer you get to meet time, we came down a bit early, grabbed some lunch with all the boys at 12:30, but once you get here, like the players are all buzzing, the excitement just builds. Yeah, look, a bit of nerves as well, like first competitive game at a new club, but look, we've prepped as well as we can. From now on, it's pretty much over the players, like me, Ryan and Herdy, just effectively run the warm-up, and it's up to them now. So, but they're in the best place possible to go into this game and hopefully get a decent result.
Well, all the best for today and all the best for the rest of the season as well.
Brilliant, thanks very much. Cheers.
Sesh, how's pre-season went for Selkirk?
It's went really well. It's been a tough pre-season. We've integrated a few new boys into the squad. Some of them are playing today. So last week against GHA, we've seen some good rugby, but some areas we need to improve on. That's what we want to see today, and no better than a border league game as well against Jed.
And you mentioned that game last week. Other than the result, obviously it was positive. What was other kind of key takeaways from that?
Well, look, we brought in different attack structures and defence structures, so we've seen evidence of that of working. But some areas, we're not pleased yet, so we need to see improvements today. So we've put in 2 really good sessions during the week. We just and a lot of good discussions between the boys. So we want to see improvements today and a step up from last week.
And there's a lot of new signings making their competitive debuts today in this team. What are we expected to see from those type of players like Corey Tate and such like?
Well, leadership for one. Okay, so we've got Corey, Jack, we've got Taylor Wilson making, he's not played for 15 months, coming back from ECL. I'm really excited to see how he performs today. So he starts. And along with our experienced players anyway, Andrew McColm, Aaron McColm, so Josh Welsh, they're all leaders, so we expect them to lead, and I'm excited to see how we go today with all these guys leading the charge.
And you mentioned the McColms, the co-captains today. What is the thought process behind having co-captains?
They're respected, okay, they know the rugby. So Aaron's obviously with the backs, Andrew's with the forwards, so they bounce off each other. And and it's not just they two; it's the whole team has to lead, and make decisions, and that small talk during the game is crucial, and to come these two guys actually, to make that final decision if they have to, So they're well respected individuals, and I'm looking forward to see how they go.
And in terms of the game today, Jed-Forest had a difficult season last season, and so many will be predicting that this is a Selkirk win in terms of before the game. But for you, how did you try and assess that and bring your players into the game without kind of hanging over you?
Well, one thing is it's a competitive game because it's a border league game. But like I've alluded to already, we want to see a step up from last week. If we do that, then the result will take care of itself. But however, Jed have regrouped very well. We're not disrespecting them at all. We respect Jed. Sad to see them leave the Premiership. However, this is the start of their building blocks to get back up. So, it's going to be another edge to the game today because it is what it is. It's a border game, and you just expect that. But we've been blessed with some good weather today, so you did get that very often on a Saturday in Scotland. Doesn't matter what month of year it is. So we'll hope for a good opening game of rugby. See evidence what we've been working on, and the result will be the result.
Well, best of luck for this afternoon and for the season ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Euan.
Well, Euan Welsh chatting with Stuart Johnson and Sesh Henderson earlier on today. Well, after the break, we'll bring you first half commentary of Kelso against Gala.
This is Rugby Radio. Rugby Radio.
Your pet deserves the best, and that's why your pet deserves the care and treatment offered by Border Vets. We focus on delivering the very best care to each and every one of our patients and clients. We get to know you and your pet and offer treatments tailored to every animal's individual needs, from our conveniently located surgeries in Gala Shields, Selkirk and Earlston. Ask about our Pet Health Club for your cat or dog, giving you peace of mind by spreading the cost of vaccinations, regular checks and more. From dental care to travelling abroad and the whole range of veterinary services, bordervets.co.uk is where you'll find everything you need to know. Border Vets, where your pets are part of our family.
Based in Gala Shields but covering the whole region and beyond, Borders Mortgage Hub is your one-stop shop for all things mortgage related in the Borders. Visit us at bordersmortgagehub.com or call us on 01896 807 008. That's 01896 807 008. Borders Mortgage Hub. Mortgages for the Borders in the Borders.
Borders water, Borders barley and Borders people. That's what makes the Borders Distillery. Working exclusively with local farmers, the Borders Distillery is bringing whiskey making back to the region. Our award-winning distillery is open to everyone, where you can meet the people behind the scenes, explore our wash house and shop quality local products. Tour your local distillery and discover the spirit of the Borders. Full details at thebordersdistillery.com. Always enjoy our spirit responsibly. Under 18s must be accompanied by an adult when visiting the Borders Distillery.
This is Rugby Radio. Rugby Radio.
Yes, we're live from Poynder Park this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, a stiff breeze but no rain expected, and time to join our commentary team of Matty Douglas and first of all, David Ferguson.
Yes, and welcome today to a fine sunny afternoon here at Poynder Park as both teams run out onto the pitch. Delighted to have Matty Douglas alongside me as the curtain goes up on the new 15-a-side season. Perfect stage for two largely young teams from Kelso and Gala to kick us off, and we'll catch up on team news in a second. These old rivals gear up for the start of the Scottish Premiership, Division 1 respectively next weekend, but of course the Border League's the oldest rugby reunion league in the world. Its original members were Gala, Hawick, Jed-Forest, Melrose and Langham. 1901 it started, and Kelso joined along with Selkirk in 1912. We've got some interesting history making today with Gala. We think they're fielding 3 Borders for the first time ever. Rory Wilson stepping up for a debut at standoff to join his elder brothers Murray at outside centre and Fraser, who's returned from Hoyk and starts in the back row. Kelso also hand debuts today to centre Adam Hall and back row Harry Borthwick, both signed from the Knights in the summer. Oscar Davey, the young Irish talent, and Kiwi hooker Nick Barnes. So we heard earlier from Lewis Bertram, we're about to kick off. Matty, tell us what you're expecting this afternoon here.
You'll be looking for, both sets of coaches will be looking to see if what they've implemented in pre-season is coming through. There's 1 week to go until the start of the season, so today's about fine-tuning, but also it's a Border League, so there is silverware up for grabs.
Yes, indeed, and they've kicked off, and it's Gala that's received a kick down into their half, and they're coming back at Kelso on the halfway line, setting up a ruck there. They'll be looking to put the ball back into the other half, and they're picking up and they're going. Yes, with Glenn McCrum happy to take a ball, and Gala keeping the ball in the hands at the moment. Always a wise move, I think, to make the most of the possession that you've got, Matty.
It is, and probably Gala playing into this stiff breeze here at Poynder. It's a tough wind to play into up towards the town, so they'll want to keep their hands on the ball as much as they can.
Yeah, and as we say that, of course, Lachlan Johnson kicks the ball over into the Kelso half. So we've got Gala playing towards the changing rooms here at Poynder Park. We just had a wee drop ball. You hear the groans from the Poynder Park faithful. But the wind is blowing, going by the flags. It's blowing down the pitch away from the change room, so it's at the back, at Kelso backs, going down the pitch. Gala in their traditional maroon jerseys, white shorts, maroon socks, and Kelso, of course, in their traditional black and white hoops jerseys, their black shorts and red and white socks. All set for a good game today. We're just a minute and a half in, and we've got the first scrum of the day. I think Gala are a bit concerned as to the strength of this Kelso pack this afternoon. As we said earlier, Gala, as you heard from Euan Bertram, Gala, number of boys missing today, away on holiday, with weddings. One boy playing cricket today, is the end of the cricket season, still there, and so Gala, quite a young, inexperienced side today, but they held their own in the scrum there, and the decision goes their way with a free kick, and Gala off on the attack with Angus Dunn, their captain, leading the team close to the Kelso 22. Yes, and it's picked up, it's moved back again to Doug Weir, and but this time Gala have gone over the top, they've gone to ground. And I think the decision's gone against Glenn McCrum, not staying on their feet there. The referee today, an interesting one, it's first time in the Borders. We've got referee Malcolm Pratt. He's come down from Aberdeen today to make his debut in the Border League, but he's actually a Hong Kong international. Born in Hong Kong, played scrum half for Hong Kong, and he's refereed many Hong Kong sevens out there. So we'll see what he makes of Border League as Kelso take the chances to kick that penalty back into the Gala half. They're on the far side of the pitch, away from the stand here, and they have Nick Barnes, their hooker that brought across from Waikato, throwing in for the first time. But it goes, that's the wind I think that's taken it, but the referee, he's decided it's not straight, but it was very much down the Gala side, blew right down the Gala side there, Matty.
It did. It's tough conditions with this wind, especially when you're as early into the season. You soon start to see if your line-out calls if the players have been reading the script by the coaches. But that first scrum by Gala was pretty steady, so we'll be interested to see if Kelso turn the screw here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that might have been a wee surprise perhaps for Kelso. I would imagine, they're the stronger side, they're in the Premiership, they know that Gala have come in an inexperienced side, they'll look to dominate that set piece and set up good platforms.
They'll probably look to dominate all over the park, but as Gala I'd be buzzing off of that, because it's a step up, it's a chance to go at them, and again Gala's pretty much held their own in that scrum.
Yeah, they have again. They moved the ball out into the midfield, where Murray Wilson taking the ball up, he's well tackled, brought to ground, but they move the ball quickly. Lachlan Johnson, he's an experienced player for Gala. He knows what to do at the back of the scrum there, back of the rucks, and Kelso are lining up really well, as you'd expect. They're starting to find their feet, and they're making sure there's not a lot of yardage being made by the Maroons. They're pinning them in their own half. Strong defence skills.
They are, and they're getting off the line pretty quickly, and just forcing again. Luke Gall's had to kick there, and in that wind it's now a chance for Dwayne to counter-attack. Yeah, so Dwayne Patterson back at full back there today. It's a bit of a mix in the Kelso team. Boys moving from standoff, the new standoff in Oscar Davey. So Dwayne Patterson gets a chance to put Book to ball. He's put the ball down. It was a good kick there, but Gala offside, chasing that kick.
The referee is showing he's going to be strict today. He's not mucking about. He told Gala to get back. They were offside for the kick. Then they didn't move back quick enough for the penalty. Dwayne Patterson took it quickly, so got another 10 metres on, and that gives Oscar Davey, the standoff from Ireland, the chance to put the ball deep into the Gala half. And he does it. He does that with a kick, but no, he's misjudged that. His first kick of the day, and he's put it dead. Actually, the wind is quite strong coming behind the Kelso backs, and he was going for the corner from about 40 metres out, and he's just put it dead.
It's a tough one when you do actually play with a strong wind. I've saw it in the past. You think you get loads of territory, but sometimes it's actually harder to play with a wind like that. And I think, to be fair, he's probably just needing to get into the game. His first start for Kelso, and he's just needing to shake the nerves a little bit. And as a coach, you always tell them take 5-10 metres off it. You want that line out, didn't push it too much. And now it gives Gala an opportunity to play for deep.
Yeah, and to be fair, he looked like he was aiming for the 22 and was maybe looking for a bit more, and it just bent right the way around. But yeah, he's only 19. He's come out of the Irish school system, and I think that's a cracking signing for Kelso this year. Old Crescent School. He played with Munster last year, the young Munster, and they won the Irish Schools Championship. Ireland under 18s he's played for, so we'll be intrigued to see how that young standoff goes. Quite a signing for Kelso. Gala feed in though to the scrum half, and they attack. Angus Dunn moves the ball very quickly, bring the winger Ben Gill in off his right wing. He makes about 10 yards, he's pulled down, but then it goes back again to Rory Wilson, who just dinks the ball over into the Kelso 10 metre line. It's picked up by Dwayne Patterson. He takes it on in hand, jinks this way and that way, and then he goes to the ground. Ball comes back, moved very quickly back out to stand off, and then Murray Woodcock, the open side flanker, takes on. You can't miss him with his red scrum cap out there. Now it comes out eventually. Bruce McNeil gets his hand on the ball, moving it through. He's a barrelling hooker there, the Kiwi hooker that's joined today. Nick Barnes making his debut, that he's lost the ball forward. Bruce McNeil has a word with the referee, which is very unusual for Bruce McNeil, and suggestion there that that ball was knocked forward. I don't think it's gone his way. The referee decides it's Gala. No, it is a Kelso ball. I think he's listened to Bruce McNeil there.
I would say so. There takes a brave referee not to listen to Bruce McNeil.
I wondered if it might be different today with a referee who's never been in the Borders before, doesn't know the Borders game.
You'll soon know him after the game anyways, that's for sure.
Bruce is making sure he's welcoming to Border League rugby, and so Kelso have it put, and it was a knock on there on the ground, so it's a chance for William Tweedy, a good young player here at Kelso again. Another one coming through, cousin of the Tweedy brothers, Merchiston Castle School, Kelso Quins, but that was a good scrum by Kelso again. They're getting on top of the scrum now, and it gives them the chance to attack well. It goes out, Dwayne Patterson stepping in at the centre and kicks a deep ball down into the 22. Handy having a player like Dwayne Patterson come in there and put the ball where they want.
22, I would say.
It looked like he was looking for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's got it.
Yeah,
well judged by Dwayne.
So Dwayne knows what he's doing. It's an interesting one that's come into the game. Quite an attacking weapon if you've got a decent kicker.
It is, and probably that if you've got a kicker there, either at centre or fullback, you probably don't see it as much because I think teams have now started to clock on it. They'll sit really deep, they'll sit wingers deep and fullback, but then it's a great one because if they're sitting deep, where's the space? It's on the width. So, but Dwayne's just noticed that, probably a bit of inexperience at the back by Gala to give him the space, so it gives Kelso an opportunity to use this driving maul.
And a good line out there from Nick Barnes. He's put it up high and it was well taken by Cammy Thompson. They bring it in, but it's moved out quickly. There's a bit of a mess there. The Kelso seemed to have knocked on the referee's whistle goes. Not entirely sure of what he's given there, but it looked like he was going to his pocket.
Yeah, he's got his pocket.
He's not happy with something there. Kelso had the ball. That's Kelso had a couple of good attacking chances on the Gala 22, and they fluffed him up, and that is actually a yellow card has been
Adam Hall, I think
there,
it is,
and it looks like it. So again, that's another debutant today for Kelso. He won't be pleased with that. He's come from Southern Knights, joining Kelso this season, playing in the centre, and he gets a yellow card. A lot of shaking of heads. I'm not entirely sure what that was for. We'll maybe find out from the referee, but that's Kelso wasted a couple of good chances there to attack on the Gala 22.
They have, and Kelso used that platform to play off, all last season with Frankie, just his ability to get the gain line, but there it was just slow support, and these are the little fine tuning bits that Nicky will be looking at that will probably need to improve, going into next week, because against, a Premiership sides, he can't give easy penalties away like that.
But and it was Kelso show with the attack. Gala are not getting away. Gala moved the ball, but again it's a penalty against Kelso. I think a couple of boys just going over the ball there. Harry Borthwick in there, hooker as well. Nick Barnes going to ground very quickly. That gives Gala a chance to escape. I was just going to say, Matty, that the Kelso defence was tremendous. The sort of offensive defence.
It was. When you're playing into a wind deep in your half, I would always, teams have to go defensively. Got off the line. I think it was Harry Borthwick and Nick Barnes who just flew off the line and managed to get that Gala attacker back 5-6 metres. But again, just a silly penalty, giving Gala easy outs.
But we say easy outs. They've tried to clear that from their own 22, and it's gone just about less than 10 metres into touch. So it's a Gala throw in, Gala line out from the side. It's well taken there by Robbie Irvin, and it's now moved out to the backs very quickly. They're looking at attack, but they're finding no change out of that Kelso defence. And this time the decision from the referee goes the way of Kelso, as you can see here from the home support here. Harry Borthwick in there again. I think we did wonder. Harry Borthwick moved to Kelso last year. He's from Berwick originally. He's been playing with Southern Knights, but I think Kelso were delighted to hear that Harry Borthwick moved to Kelso and was now living in the town. That's a good signing for Kelso.
Great signing. You can't players like that bring experience but also quality. Again, that's 2 big hits by him, and it'll be good to see him, see if he can get off this scrum. They've used Frankie the last couple. I'd like to see him get off the base and see what sort of platform they can create.
So they've got a scrum just outside the Gala 22. They're just about 5-10 metres to the left of the Gala post, and we've got Harry Borthwick now at number 8 for Kelso. We've got Murray Woodcock at 7, Bruce McNeil at 6. That is quite a back row. The referees whistled quickly to bring that scrum up. Bruce McNeil giving his opinion to the stand side official, Walter Gaffney, a very experienced official, well known in Scottish rugby circles, Walter Gaffney from Grangemouth over here. And the referee's asking them to go back down. He certainly is giving them plenty of instruction, the referee, in terms of what he wants.
He is. He looks like he's speaking to the players, and he's backing his calls as well. He's probably trying to stamp his authority on the game, and it'll be interesting to see if he keeps that up throughout the 80 minutes.
Good put in from William Tweedy, and he was sacked at the base of that scrum, but the referees decided it was illegally done by his opposite number, Lachlan Johnson.
I think he's a bit unlucky there, Lachlan, to be fair. I thought that ball was away and he'd picked it, so again, quick decision by the referee. And this time, Oscars took a bit off that, and it'll give Kelso, first real opportunity in the 22 today.
Yeah, he's learned quickly. You like a standoff that learns quickly, I imagine. He's kicked it straight to touch into the 22, not messed about, didn't go for any yards.
He's learned quickly. He's had a bit of message for the touchline maybe, but...
Yeah, so we've got Kelso with a line out just right on the 22 on the stand side. The stand side here looking over, and it's taken by Murray Woodcock close to the front. And all the Kelso players round about him quickly to set up that maul. They're not going anywhere at the moment, but they've got them all. The referee has told them it's only one time. Now, you don't get 2 times in a maul. If it's pulled, if it's stopped, he's making it very clear, holding up the one finger and telling Bruce McNeil, they stopped you, you got that maul going, they stopped you, and now you've lost the ball.
Yeah, it's again a couple of changes to this season, but I think, to be fair, that Kelso line-out didn't function. Murray Woodcock went to the front, and see Keith Melbourne questioning why nobody followed him to lift him, so it was a poor platform. And as you say, this new law, which, to be fair, it'll speed it up in there. He didn't get the opportunity to stop and go again. And to be fair, that likes a Kelso, Hoyt, teams like that who have used drive and maul as a weapon in the past, they're going to have to be a bit more efficient rather than building that score.
As we watch a fantastic scrum by Kelso, it was a Gala ball on the 22. They've scrummed them right off the back of it and all the way around, and they have got the penalty. The Kelso scrum there, so Gala a bit of work to do there. But Matty, do you think that will help? Do you think we'll still see as many mauls in the game?
I think to start with we will, because that'll be hard to change. Kelso, every penalty they've had in the first 10 minutes, they've kicked to the corner and again. So if the referees are blowing early, it'll take a bit of time, I think, for teams to come away from it. Not every team loves it. If you've not got a strong big forward pack, then you'll want to tap and move the defence around rather than taking them on. But Kelso back their maul, they have done last season, and by the looks of it, they are again.
Yeah, the line out goes this time to the middle. It's picked up there by Keith Melbourne, the co-captain this year, and what a maul this time. It's on the move, it's all the way to the Gala line, and yeah, there was no stopping that one. Bruce McNeil, the man who dives down as he gets over the line. So again, Kelso have learned there. You know, we had kicks to the touch. Oscar Davey, left-footed kicker on this stand side, is learned not to go too far. Kelso had one maul that was held up and they lost the ball. Gala couldn't get out of their own 22, and Kelso have really turned the screw there with a second chance of a maul. They got that moving very quickly. Again, we talked about Murray Woodcock not being followed at the front of the line out for the first one. This time they went to the middle. Keith Melbourne, much easier to get boys round about him.
Yeah, you could see there, I think, looking at last maul, the forwards had a bit of chat, and there, when you set a platform and you're quick and efficient, you didn't stop that Kelso maul, and it's, you know, games at home against Curry last season, they used it to full effect, and they have again.
So it's a try, first try of the game after 15 minutes here at Poynder Park, and now Dwayne Patterson lining up the conversion from on the 22 near stand side, but he's just pushed that just too far, getting his wind. I think he was looking for the wind today, and there was no wind there at all for the kicker, so the conversion goes past the post. So yeah, with 15 minutes played here at Poynder Park, we'll hand over to Jedburgh and we'll find out what's going on down at Jed-Forest. But the score here at Poynder Park, 50 minutes played, it is Kelso 5, Gala 0.
Thank you, David. Yep, 11 and a half minutes played here at Riverside Park in Jed, and it's the visitors who have gotten over the line first. We got underway after a minute's applause for the recent passing of Jed-Forest club stalwart Alan Goodfellow, and the game started with a lot of mistakes for both teams through kicking and handling, but Selkirk were the ones who were dominant in attack. But Jed just managed to scrape by in defence on occasion, and eventually Selkirk managed to get right in the faces of the try line in front of the Jed posts, and it was actually Ross Nixon who managed to see the gap and quite easily carved through the defence just on the 22. He managed just to see where there was a gap, and the two defenders carved right through that and got over the line for the opening try, right under the post as well. So the conversion by Hugo Alderson, the scrum half, was successful. So 12 and a half minutes played here, and it's Selkirk 7, Jed-Forest 0.
Good stuff, thank you for Euan, and glad to hear that there's plenty of action going on down there at Jed-Forest. You come back to Poynder Park 60 minutes in, and Gala unfortunately put their restart straight out there, and it's back to the centre for Kelso Scrum, and Kelso Scrum has been pretty formidable straight, but it's picked up this time by Harry Borthwick. He steers it, it's moved out really wide quickly. Archie Barber wide, he picks it, he gets the ball and he kicks deep over the cover and support, but there's Kelso players first there, and it looks like it's been won by Kelso player. You can hear from the cheers, certainly has. That was straight from the starting point there. It was a cracking move, a really good, clever kick at by Archie Barber very quickly there, and it was scrum half William Tweedy and his start. He's just come out the Quins, and Kelso have had a really good factory they've been producing of boys out of Kelso Harlequins in the last few years, and that's Archie Barber. He did go down to England for a year, Archie Barber, and he came back up, but he was a Quins product as well, creating that by just playing simple rugby, really moving the ball quick. You know, from that scrum they moved it quick. He saw the chance, Archie, to put the ball in behind Gala.
They did, David, and I think, you know, that's a set play from, you know, for the training ground, but just quick sharp hands. And to be fair, it's the pass, I think it was from it was either Tweedy or Dwayne who just put it right across the face to Archie Barber coming onto it. And if there's a player that you want to get in space, it's him. You know, he's a great talent, and again spots the space in behind, and it's a foot race. You know, poor Angus Dunn's the one Gala player trying to get back, but just work rate. You know, great first phase play. They get over the gain line, and now Gala, they need to get up this other end of the park. The kick-off needs to stay in play. They've stayed in the fight well into the win, but it'll be a test to see what they can come up with now.
18 minutes played here at Poynder Park, and the score is now Kelso 10, Gala 0. Two quick fire tries from Kelso rock Gala back, but as you say, and that's another, no, it's just stayed in. That kick at the restart there, no, it's gone straight out. Yes, the touch judge on the far side, assistant referee Gillian Frew through today. She's a Bells Hill She's from Bells Hill. She plays scrum half for Uddingston, does Gillian Frew, who's on the far side with the flag for us today, indicating that that ball went straight out. So it's a scrum back in the centre, not what Gala want. I mean, at this moment in time, would you be urging them to try and keep the ball in hand, or would you be wanting them just to try and keep kicking and put the ball in and start to get some territory?
I think if they have the ball, they want to keep it in hand now, but you know, first kick-off goes out on the full for the scrum, the score, and the second one he's just done the same, and it's a case of just keep that ball in play, you know, take the pressure off yourself. Kelso got to try and do the exact same here. You know, if I'd just scored off a scrum, I'd be looking to go again.
And there they go. Well, they bring Frankie Robson in a bit tight. Frankie's not really given to the big looping passes out. He eats up some yards inside, sets up the rocket, comes back again, but this time it's going a bit wider. Dwayne Patterson gets it, and he sets Bruce McNeil off on the right flank there. Big Bruce McNeil, he makes about 10 metres, but then that ball comes back. Great tackle coming in there. Yes, very quick. Gala were not letting them get away with that. Robbie Irvin was very quick onto the scrum half to stop that pass going wide. But now we've got, it's quite we're just noticing that Adam Hall is coming back off out of the sin bin. It's interesting that Kelso scored 2 tries while they were down to 14 men.
Yeah, I think Gala have just switched off for, you know, a period of kind of 10 minutes. This wind is tough to play here at Poynder. Gala need to, now they've got the ball, is try and find a bit of consistency with it. You know, for here I'd be looking to either try and get to width and stretch this Kelso defence, or get this ball down the park, put pressure on them and make Kelso play out. Gala now just need to keep the ball for as long as they can.
And it's difficult with that wind. We can see the trees swaying on the far side here at Poynder Park. They're all bending down towards the field at the far end. Gala have got the ball, they move it back, but that pass has gone astray. It's picked up there by Murray Wilson. He makes good ground. Murray Wilson, a strong player, one of the 3 Wilson brothers making history playing together in the Maroons today, and it moved back. That's given Gala a bit of an impetus there. It rocks Kelso back. Still not halfway, but unfortunately the referee's whistle goes just as Gala were starting to get something. That was a really good intervention there by Murray Wilson that started to give them something.
Yeah, it was, and it's probably come for scrappy play. You know, his brother's just probably passed before he's even looked, but Murray's he's a quality player. Had him in at the south for a couple of sessions, and he's got gain line there, but again, obviously, you know, start of the season, the referee, he's not given much away today, and Gala get done for entering in the side of the ruck. So for me as a coach, I'd be, you know, trying to say to the players, let's keep squeaky clean, you know, do everyone who can to stay on the right side, because with this wind now, you know, Gala are facing a line out in their own 22.
That's it, back on the 22 again. It's a line out from Nick Barnes. He goes to the middle, yes, and it's taken by Cammy Thompson, the blue scrum cap. It comes out to Frankie Robson in the midfield. He makes a run, and then he throws a pass. It's a bit wild. Bruce McNeil was beside him. He must have heard the shout, but he's given a wild pass. Gala picked that up, and they're now defending 10 metres outside. They're just off their own post. What a cracking run there. But then it goes loose again. Kelso pick up, and it's at the base of the ruck, but it had to be picked up by somebody. Gala were swarming all over it. But now the Gala are back on their own, on the Gala 10 metre line. They've been pushed all the way back. A lot of loose play there, but they're away again with Keith Melbourne. He then flicks a ball inside, and that's Archie Barber who picked up, and then we got a try out of nothing really. Kelso were creating something into the 22. They fumbled the ball, they lost it. It was picked up by Gala. Gala running out of their own 22. Again, they looked like promising, doing some good work, but they couldn't hold on to the ball, and it just shows the danger men that you've got in that Kelso team. When you got Keith Melbourne on the ball, he doesn't take a backward step through 2 or 3 would-be tackles, leans out with one hand, big claw-like hands he's got, hands it inside to Archie Barber, and Archie Barber, they weren't stopping him from about 15 metres out.
Yeah, no structure in that score there anyways. It was just a case of playing what's in front, and to be fair, I thought Gala were away. Angus Dunn with a big carry, but the offload straight into Cammy Thompson's hands, and for there it was just find the space. It was all over the place, and big great offload by Harry Borthwick into another, you know, big lump of fella, Keith Melbourne, and again he's offload into Archie Barber. It's not about creating. If Archie's been on the shoulder there for the offload, so Gala now, I'd be trying to get a message on, just keep this ball in play, set a platform, as they've not even entered Kelso's 22 yet. They'll be a bit frustrated, so get a bit of confidence within that team, and try and build a bit of pressure.
So we're back to the middle. It is 23 minutes gone. We're into the 24th minute here at Poynder Park. Kelso leading 17 points to 0. Gala really haven't had an attack that they can really shout about yet. And that kick stays in this time in field after 2 that went straight out. And Kelso on the attack, heading towards the 10 metre, their own 10 metre line, but they're putting the ball back. Looks like it's going to go downfield, and it does, straight from scrum half. William Tweedy puts a high ball down, but it's easily caught down there by Gala number 8. I think it was it Fraser Wilson picking it? Yeah, Fraser Wilson back at Gala this season, having had some time under Matty, under you down at Hoyk. Had some good time there, but he's back in his hometown with the two brothers. And there we see Glenn McCrum making some good charges. So it looks like they've listened to you, keeping the ball in hand, Matty.
They have, and maybe not, he's kicked it there. But again, Fraser Wilson, I've been quite impressed with him at number 8. No opposition, I've saw him it. He's big, he's strong, and for only being 18 years of age, he's definitely got a big future ahead of him. Worked hard when he was at Hoyk, and good to see him back at his hometown club, and I think he's got a big season ahead.
And it's quite impressive, isn't it? 3 Wilson boys have come through. They're all good players, and they all look like they could really be stalwarts with Gala for some time.
Yeah, they could, but
you think they should be going further?
Yeah, I think Fraser definitely has got the ability. He was in around the 20s last season, and definitely this season he'll be there or thereabouts. So again, but just Gala there, I've just missed touch for the penalty, and to be fair, their kicking has probably let them down a bit in this first half.
So Gala on the Kelso on the attack, he comes back, but it's Oscar Davey, their new Irish standoff. He kicks the ball deep down, and it's rolling and rolling and rolling, and it's going right out of the pitch. In fact, it's touched down eventually. It was only a yard from going dead there, and it was touched down by young fullback Jack Niven. Jack Niven will be well known in Gala from the family of cricketers, son of Mike, in Gala cricketing family, and Jack, and a youngster playing at fullback today. Murray Wilson was playing at fullback last season. I think he'll bring a bit more in playing in the centre as Gala go to kick out.
Yeah, I think Murray's got a great rugby brain on him, and it's just trying to get him opportunity and get him some space. Gala just haven't been able to get a platform.
No, they haven't, and that's that knock on there, coming out for knock on. Was it deliberate? No, Ben Gill went, and Kelso players of course looking for a deliberate knock on for a penalty, but it's not going to be a penalty. It was just a knock on.
I think that's the right call, David. I think he did put a stretched arm out, try to catch it. So just interested to see a few of the Kelso players just kind of walk into this scrum, and I don't know if that's more a case of just trying to get a breather, or Terry Skeet just taking a bit of time to get there. So it'll be interesting to see how this scrum goes.
Yeah, they're getting settled in Kelso. You may be right, taking the foot off a little Kelso at the moment, but yeah, I mean, they've put a lot into that first quarter. There is a big wind behind them, and as you said earlier, it's not always, you've got to learn how to play the wind. It's not always an advantage, a straight advantage, but it is making it very hard for Gala to get out their half. The ball goes in from young William Tweedy, the scrum half. It comes to the back of the scrum. He moves it quickly. Frankie Robson passes just outside. He's bringing in Adam Hall into the game, and it gets moved again quickly out to Davey. It gets put Dwayne Patterson. It looked like a hint of a forward pass there to Robbie Tweedy, but Robbie Tweedy's taking it on. He's tackled outside the 22, and then the ball goes back, and Kelso keeping possession well, moving the ball back to the left hand side. Frankie Robson passes it, but it's a low pass. It evades Harry Borthwick out wide, but he picks it up. He goes again, and it's taken a lot to get Harry Borthwick down. He's a big lad to get the big Kelso number 8 down on the ground, but he's down now. It's a ruck, and the ball comes back from Tweedy once again, and it's finally, we're seeing the front row getting the ball. Angus McGregor, the big loose head prop, but well tackled by Gala. They pushed him back a good 5 metres. There's boys lying all over the ball there, and eventually Gala get penalised. I think really it was Robbie Irvin lying on the ground, but he wasn't making a lot of effort to get away, and I think the referee gave him a chance, and then when the ball wasn't coming, decided, okay, that's a penalty to Kelso.
I think he got a longer chance than anybody would ever get there. He had opportunity to get out there, and again, Gala, I think Lewis and Dean will just be a bit frustrated at the penalties that Gala are giving away. Just struggling to relieve pressure off them at the minute, David. They just seem to be getting up to halfway, either a silly error or a missed kick, and they're back down at their 22. But they just need to focus defensively. They look really strong. They've just gave away some silly silly metres, and now Kelso have got another platform in this 22 to go from.
Line out on the 22 to Kelso. They go to the front this time. Murray Woodcup, the referee's whistled. There's something he doesn't like there. Not sure what he's saying, but Bruce McNeil's having a little go at him, and he's telling Bruce McNeil to calm down, and Bruce says, no problem, ref. Yeah, so we wave. We'll go again with a line out on the 22. It goes to the front, but Gala saw that coming. It was well picked up by Irvin at the front, and Gala attacking from outside their on their 22. They're moving it wide, and the ball's gone through hands really well to the far wing there to Richie Mitchell, who's got the chance to attack. And the ball's coming back. He makes to the Gala 10 metre line. The ball comes back. Gala keeping it tight, going through the phases, picking and going in there, but Kelso are holding them tight. Gala running out of support there, but they managed to hold on to the ball. Ball comes back. It's still on the Gala 10 metre line. Comes into the middle of the park now. Angus Dunn picks up. He shows one way and goes the other. Makes another few metres. The ball's in the ruck. It's slow ball. It's not coming back very quickly there. Eventually Glenn McCrum, big lock, gets the ball out. Gala's still been penned on that 10 metre line. They're moving the ball. They've got a penalty, however. Kelso went and then Gala take it quickly, gets away with it. Lachlan Johnson looked like a wee tap and then lost the ball, but he's carried away. The ref gets him go. Angus Dunn goes forward. They're now on the Kelso 10 metre. Loose ball. The ball for Gala there just goes loose as they were going over. It was a good bit of play by Gala. They took that quick tap penalty, and they made it into the Kelso half, but that's just what we're saying, is just being able to hold on to the ball at those crucial moments.
It's just an easy penalty to give away there by Gala. Again, this side entry, I think it was made harder just due to the fact that Kelso committed no numbers and the Gala boys just flew in there, but that, to be fair, that's probably the best passage of play Gala's had. Little tip-ons and getting gain line every time. Every time Angus Dunn gets his hand on the ball, he makes yardage. But one kick and Gala now back down close to their 22. This will take a lot of energy out of them, but better play.
Yeah, and just in that we've got an injury stoppage there. Kelso have got a line out just outside the Gala 22, but we'll hand now down, with that being just right on the half-hour mark here at Poynder Park. We'll hand over to Euan and find out what's going on down at Jed-Forest. The score here is Kelso 17, Gala 0.
Well, since the last time I updated you on that Selkirk try, Jed having a wee bit more ball to play with, but Selkirk's still the team who are controlling how the game is being played, and again they're finding themselves just shy of the try line, trying to attack this strong defensive outfit, and the Selkirk backs are getting a lot of the hands on the ball, and they have the chance to launch a platform for attack here, and Selkirk reset, and again they're only 2 or 3 metres short. The score still currently remains 7-0 to the visitors, but Jed are really struggling to make any chance on the ball count, and the territory has definitely been deep in the Selkirk attacking half. They've had a lot of the ball, they've had a lot of the control of how the game's been played, and they've now won a penalty, so Selkirk definitely would be looking to score from this next phase of play because they have had all the pressure the last 5 minutes, but Jed will just be looking to try and save themselves on this occasion, as they have done on the last couple of occasions when Selkirk have threatened, because it has had that kind of overhang and feel of being a pre-season game where a lot of the mistakes coming through handling and offsides and whatnot. But no, it's definitely been a game for Selkirk to really have the say on and try and control, but Jed will just be looking to defend as hard as they can here with their veterans in the park, try to control the shots as they try and keep Selkirk out. They're now just very, very short, hands in the air, and the ref looks like he's going to have time off and speak to the assistant ref. So still 7-0 to Selkirk, but the lead could be doubled here. It is on that far side as he speaks to his assistant. What's the decision going to be? Is it going to be 2 tries up for Selkirk, or have Jed managed to get themselves away with it once again? Well, he's made his decision, and they've not given the try, so it still remains here after 29 minutes played. It's Selkirk 7, Jed-Forest 0.
Still an engrossing game there. Thank you, Euan, down at Riverside Park. Good to hear. Great to see the Border teams in action today. Very competitive Border League matches. Same here at Poynder Park. Kelso are ahead 17 points to 0, and they have been dominating the first half, but we've talked. Matty Douglas is here alongside me, enjoying having a bit of a break from the game at the moment, Matty, but still looking through coach's eyes. And do you enjoy being up here not having to, as we always say, tear your hair out when you see boys dropping balls in front of you?
Yeah, I'm no shouting at the back of stand anyways, that's for sure, but nah, it's different. It's been a tough couple of months, but hopefully not out the game too long. just kind of waiting on that, the right opportunity to come along. Kind of cleared the head a bit since kind of April, May time. So no, but it's good to just keep involved. I'm talk a lot of rubbish half the time, but it's good to see, even to watch, being involved with the South, see some players that I would never get to see, and I'm just enjoying the free Saturdays, not having the pressure of having to win Premiership matches. So
well, you enjoy it, Matty, for as long as it lasts, because I'm pretty sure it won't last that long. But there, as we watch, Kelso putting the ball in the line out. Kelso had a good chance. Mistakes are, they're going to happen, and it must be a bit difficult for coaches at this stage. We've just watched Kelso putting the ball in. Kelso, as we say, 17 points ahead, 17-0 here with 6 minutes to go to half time here at Poynder Park. Kelso playing with the wind. They're playing away from the changing rooms. As we look out on the main stand, they're playing from right to left. They're being penned in and around the Gala 22 most of the half. Gala having to work really hard into the face of that wind, but and 2 mistakes here. A line out that was blown away, Gala got it, and then Gala knock on for about the 3rd or 4th time in the last few minutes. Matty, you've got to accept that, I suppose, as a coach at this time of the season. You do. This is, speaking to Lewis through the week, and this is Gala's first game of the season. Kelso have that advantage having 2 games already, but as a coach, you're just wanting to see glimpses of what you've worked on in the last couple of weeks. Middle of June or whenever they've started pre-season, you want to see the structures, you want to see that work rate, your defensive systems, and to be fair, looking at, I think Kelso have probably showed a bit more of that glimpses in the first half. Gala have probably dogged it out. They're missing a few players today, but they can be proud of the way defensively they've worked. You would just want to see them play a little bit more rugby in the right area of the park. And you hope maybe then in the second half they'll have a chance to do that, maybe with the wind. It'll be interesting to see how they play with the wind, whether they just go for territory straight away, because they've been so starved of it in the first half, and try and kick it down, which might play into Kelso's hands. But as we get to the end of the first half, it's Kelso in the 22, Gala 22, just about 10 metres to the right of the post with a scrum. It's put in by William Tweedy, and the pack go for a big drive. It's picked up at the back by Harry Borthwick, and he just dances through. An easy try. Penalty. Oh, penalty against. I thought it was a bit too easy. Gala boys are giving Harry Borthwick a clap, because I think they knew. I thought that was a bit easy, the route he went through there. Obviously, is it Bruce McNeil? Maybe not his side, but somebody's pulled somebody back, I would say, to make the tackle on Harry. And so he seemed to get away far too easily. Somebody was held in there, and the referee has spotted it. As we say, that's a Hong Kong international scrum half, Malcolm Pratt, that's with us as a referee, making his first game in the Border League, and he's been pretty efficient so far. He's talking to the players a lot, Matty. He seems to be on top of the game. Not any really big shrieks of complaint. Nah, there's not really. I think as a coach at this stage of the season, as early on, I would always just want a game to flow, and I think, to be fair, he's stamped his authority. The calls he's made is right. There's probably a couple I would let go. Let the rugby do the talking a bit, but at the same time, it is a Border League game, so this is the start of the silverware of the season, and there's Gala being pinged for what we saw Kelso being penalised for earlier on. They had a really good maul going there, Gala. They had a good line out. They were driving it away from their 22 on the far side of the pitch here at Poynder Park. But the referee has penalised them because the maul was stopped and they continued to go. So we're just talking about the importance of that communication. That's a change. It is a change. And watching that, it'll take me a bit of getting you. I was watching that Gala maul, for me, hadn't stopped. It went sideways a little bit, but obviously in there the referees said once it's either stopped and then they've went again, and as we were talking about, that is a scrum, the opposition side. So I think this law will take a bit of getting used to the first couple of weeks of the new season, I would say, and for supporters as well. To see a team who that maul's going forward, it stops for however long we've had, that maul can then go again. That's right. Supporters will get frustrated if they're not too clued up on this new law. But again, it'll just, coaches will come to it, and there'll be a way that they'll get around it. Right, now the referee, we talked about Malcolm Pratt earlier, the referee in his first Border League game, he's pulled the front rows across to him. He's pulled the captains and hookers across to him to talk. They've all sort of seemed to have shaken hands, so they seem to be getting on with it, back into their scrum. But the maul, they want to speed up the game, World Rugby, so they've introduced this, you can get one run with the maul, and if it stops, you've got to play it, or else it's a scrum to the opposition. Twice, both teams today have been pinged for not moving the ball quick enough, and that will take the players a bit of getting used to, and for supporters, as you say, Matty, we're relying on the referee making sure he communicates communicates well. He tells them when he thinks it's stopped. They've got to listen and they've got to play. Scrum to Kelso. They're about 30 metres outside, away from the Gala line, deep into the half, and they're driving it forward. Harry Boswick controlling it, but his pass out goes through the air to no hands, but it's been picked up by Adam Hall in the midfield. He moves the ball comes off the back of the ruck, and again Kelso hang on to it, but great Gala defence. Players all over the ball there, both Hooker, Jack Eason there working hard, and Angus Dunn trying to stop Kelso, making it hard for Kelso. Kelso still got the ball, they're moving it wide left now, moving it through the hands. It's a nice wee run, Archie Barber across, but he's well tackled. Great tackle by Gala. 13 Murray Wilson, who got his arms around there, big arms right around Archie Barber, and just made sure he was not letting go, took him right into touch. Archie Barber could do nothing about that, couldn't release that ball.
No, he couldn't, but I think I'm able to see little glimpses of this attack, like so what Nicky's trying to implement, playing under him at Hoyk, that little 15 metre channel attack, the little soft hands, that's Nicky in a nutshell. And Kelso, you can see little changes in their attack that he's implementing, and it'll only do them good going forward to have a skill set like that. And again, it's probably just a bit of dogginess by Murray Wilson to put him into touch. So again, silly penalty by Kelso, and Gala get an easy out.
Yeah, they do. So it was a line out to Gala. Big second row, Glenn McCrum. You can't miss him with big blonde locks. Reminds me of Euan Dodds that used to play at Gala with a sort of rambunctious style all over the place, big flowing blonde locks, and he takes a lot of stopping. But thankfully for him, his point of view, there was a penalty given against Kelso, and now the touch judge, the assistant referee Walter Gaffney, should say, has had a word with the referee, called him over. Now the referee, Malcolm Pratt, is having a word with Keith Melbourne, and he's bringing something to his attention and saying that's got to stop. We're aware of what you're doing in the line-out, whatever it was, we're aware of something. A wry smile from Kelso co-captain Keith Melbourne. But it doesn't make any difference to the game. It's still a penalty to Gala. Gala got the chance to clear it from their own 22, and it's coming our way. Money just over the top. Would you have caught that if that had come just under the top of the roof there?
Nah, no chance. No chance.
It goes over the roof here at Poynder Park. Another ball was quickly supplied by the ball boys here, and Jack Eason. I remember his father, Billy Eason, playing for Gala, prop for Gala in the past, and now young Jack. But that one's taken. Keith Melbourne rises high in the middle of the line out for Kelso to steal that Gala line out, and now it comes to the back. Bruce McNeil's got the ball. He's away now. The maul. No, he's been penalised. Oh, penalised for crossing. Penalised for.
I think the ref's got it right there. The maul broke away, and Bruce kept. He kind of broke his binding back onto Terry Skeet, and again he has to play away there. So I think, to be fair, the referee's got that right, and half time.
And that's half time here at Poynder Park. So Kelso had the chance there. They never put anything together enough in that last 10 minutes. They scored 3 tries in the first 22 minutes. In fact, there were 3 tries in 7 minutes between the 15th minute and the 22nd. Bruce McNeil went over for the first. William Tweedy, the young scrum half, just 2 minutes later, he got a good try after a great Archie Barber kick ahead. Neither of them were converted by Dwayne Patterson. He was finding his feet with the wind and trying to curl things with the wind. The wind didn't help him at all in one, and then it blew the second one past the post. But for the third try, when Archie Barber went in for a good score after a great Keith Melbourne charge, it was converted that time by Dwayne Patterson, and that took Kelso to a half-time lead of 17 points to 0. And yes, at Poynder Park it's sitting pretty for Kelso, but Gala will be pleased that they managed to hold out there at the end of that half. They were into a strong wind, and they'll come out for the second half with the wind at their backs.
So an entertaining first half here at Poynder Park. We'll get the thoughts of Matty Douglas shortly. But let's go over to Riverside Park. They're still playing in the first half. Rejoin Euan Welsh for news of the other Border League game. It's Jed-Forest against Selkirk.
Yeah, still a couple of minutes of the first half to play here at Riverside. And the lead for Selkirk has been doubled. It doubled at around the 35th minute mark when Aaron McColm ran in. And again, he made it look a little bit easy. It was a gap just appeared. He was in the middle of the pitch on the 22, and a little gap just appeared, and he jogged in fairly casually to double the lead for the Suitors. Conversion by Hugo Alderson right in front of the post. You wouldn't expect him to miss that. And boring may be a bit of a harsh way to say it, but it's certainly been a bit of a flat game. Although the sun has come out and the rain has stopped, wind just picks up every now and again. For Selkirk, the new signing, Cody Tate, he's impressed, and young Oliver McClyman, he's been full of energy trying to show what he can do, but overall, as I say, it's been a game of mistakes for both sides. Young Aaron Weatherhead has looked exciting at standoff for the hosts, and the veterans of the side, if you like, have also been trying to control any sporadic attacks that Jed have had, although when they have had the ball, it has been in the middle of the pitch, which is where they are now with the ball. Just camped inside their own half and struggling really to make any headground, as the line speed from Selkirk's excellent, as we see Westlake going up, the number 8, he's straight up into the face of the Jed attack, and here's Gregor Young. He manages to get past the first, second, third and fourth defender before they offload into Shira Gibb, and he then takes it into contact. So suddenly Jed have found themselves pushing into the Selkirk half and just shy of the 22, so it would be crucial for them to claw back one of the scores before half time as they chuck everything at this Selkirk defence. This will be the first time that Selkirk have really had to handle any sort of long-term pressure, because the last time Jed were up in this half, it was quickly turned over. Douglas recycles and launches a bit of an attack down this stand side, but still not quite managing to make any ground. So apart from that one little line break by Young, it's been fairly basic stuff from Jed. It hasn't quite managed to go over any gain line, but Ferreira manages to hold up, and then they've won a penalty, so on the 22 in front of the post, a quick tap penalty by Douglas, and comes towards this stand side. It was Kyle Grieve that hit up on the initial instance, and now they've halved the distance between themselves and the try line. They're up to 10 metres shy. Selkirk being tested with the defence, as Sesh Henderson gets quite animated on the touchline. Just recycles. Selkirk try to slow the game down. There's men over on this side as Shira Gibb gets it. Kyle Grieve was outside him, but he didn't give it and went back inside instead. Clark Skeldon ball in hand, and then he manages to scurry it away and into the hands of Ferreira. He tries to go for the line. Again held up short. Defence holding out strong for Selkirk. Must be in the last couple of minutes of play. There was a few stoppages during the game. Again, just Selkirk slowing everything down, and it's working because the referee blows his whistle, comes back towards another penalty that was won 5, 6, 7 metres short of the try line, so Jed will have to go again. Robbie Douglas thought about the quick tap, the ref's not having it. Instead he's going to have a word with one of the Selkirk players. But yeah, Selkirk just looking to slow things down, and that's how they've played most of the first half, although it has been fairly full of handling errors and mistakes. 14 points to 0 in favour of the visitors. As I say, it must be a minute or two only left to play, so Selkirk will be desperate to keep their clean sheet going into the half-time break, as Finn Scott gets his back away with a top penalty. They're 5 metres short. Jed desperate to claw one of these scores back, as I think Clark Skeldon picks and goes from the base. Again, can't find anywhere, as one of the forwards is then picked and went again. Jed playing in their red and blue strips. Douglas recycles, and again there was a big, and you'll hear by the clapping response there from the crowd, they have managed to get over the line. I'm not entirely sure who it is. One of the forwards certainly has managed to grab that one for Jed-Forest, so I don't know if the kick will be a little bit more challenging for the kicker to convert, but certainly getting the score back will be crucial for Jed. So with a kick to come, that'll probably see us going into half time here at Riverside Park. It's Selkirk 14, Jed-Forest 5.
Thank you to Euan at Riverside Park this afternoon. So we've got two rather competitive games. You wouldn't have thought that after 20 minutes here at Poynder Park when it was 17-0 with 3 tries. But we'll bring in Matty Douglas at the moment. Wind advantage, of course, for Kelso, so they certainly capitalised on that. 3 tries from Adam Hall, Bruce McNeil and William Tweedy. But the fact that Gala then got on top of things and stopped them from scoring, that will certainly give them heart in the second half with the wind advantage.
Yeah, it is. It's just, it'll be interesting to see how Lewis and Dean approach the second half. I think Gala will have a great opportunity with the elements, but it's how they deal with that. Their kicking game, to be fair, so far in the first half has probably let them down a bit. And then on the flip side, I thought Kelso started really well, and they started to take advantage of, you know, Gala slipping off some tackles. There was a great score by Archie Barber, you know, straight off the scrum, straight to the width, got him in some space, and you know, Will Tweedy finished it off. So you know, Gala, there was a bit in that first half where you kind of thought Kelso might have went 2, 3, 4 scores, but to be fair to them, credit, they dug in. There was a bit of doggingness in the defence, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how they come out in the second half.
The referee, Michael Pratt from Hong Kong, first border derby, of course. He seems to be doing well.
He is, and you know, it was just said at the start, it'll be interested to see how he stamps his authority on the game. Not having done a border league game before, and you know, especially with Bruce McNeil to contend with, but he's done well, and there's no messing with him. You know, he's not been scared to make a decision. You've had a yellow card, and especially around the mall, this new law that if it stops once and goes again, that's you know, it's turnover ball, and I think both teams have just took a bit of time to you know, come onto that, and it'll be interesting to see the second half if it continues to go that way.
How difficult is it for players to sort of get in their heads this new law, and not just that one, there'll be other laws as well coming.
Yeah, there's a couple of new ones obviously off the kick-off. If it goes into 22, you can mark it straight off the kick-off. And as a coach, you know, I can imagine Bruce and Nicky, you know, Lewis, they'll have worked on this at training, but it's different when you come into a game. Saw it last season with the high tackle law, you know, and to be fair, we're probably just getting to a stage now where we're grasping it, so it'll take time. There'll be a few frustrated players, especially, you know, looking at this Kelso side. They're driven maul, and when I was at Hoyk, that was one area that we felt Kelso were really strong at, and you know, they were very good at, when it stopped, at regrouping and going again. And that bit of, you know, weapon in their armoury this time isn't there, so it'll be interesting to see how they adapt it. And you know, I think going through the first couple of weeks in the new season, there'll be a lot of teams turned over in that area.
Very strong pack, obviously, on view from Kelso, but they've still got to bring on some tasty people on the bench as well. Grant Shields is sitting on the bench at the moment, Euan Knox, Dan Gamble as well. So, you know, Gala looking at those three names, knowing that they're coming on, that's going to cause them a few. Yeah,
there is, and you know, I think it looks like Dan's came on. You know, Terry Logan. For you know, the size that he is, he does a hell of work. You know, I like him as a player. He scrums well, and defensively he can put a shot in. So you know, Kelso, all the teams in the league, are one of the best teams at rotating that front row. Doesn't matter if they're away or they're at home. You can, you know, if it's Terry Logan, Grant Shields, Angus McGregor, these players all get a rotation. So the second half, Gala probably don't have that depth in the front row, so I can imagine Bruce will be saying in there, this is an area we can target in the second half. But Kelso are into this wind, and you know, I'm excited to see how Gala react to it, and what Lewis and Dean have said at half time, because there's some really good players on that Gala side. Been really impressed with Angus Dunn, and also Fraser Wilson off the back of the scrum. So yeah, I think, you know, if Gala can hit back early on, it'll you know, put them in a great position for the rest of the 40 minutes.
Well, it looks like Terry Logan has taken a break for the moment. We might see him a little bit later on when his batteries are recharged. I can tell you that that was a conversion for Jed-Forest over at Riverside Park, so it's Jed-Forest 7, Selkirk 14 at half time. Over here it's 17-0 to Kelso. They're just about to kick off. Let's return to Matty Douglas and David Ferguson.
Thank you, Stuart. Yes, a lovely sunny day here at Poynder Park. The wind is still blowing down from the club rooms down the pitch, so Kelso into the face of the wind in this second half. A few changes. We can see Andy Tate on at scrum half, Euan Knox on at hooker. Both props are changed, with the experienced prop of Grant Shields, 34 years old, former professional at Newcastle, on at loosehead, and we've got Dan Gamble. So the bomb squad coming on early, perhaps, for Kelso today. We expect to see changes, and there we thought we might see Russell Kerr coming on for Gala at standoff. He has indeed. Russell Kerr, the son, those that will remember, the son of Andrew Kerr, the Melrose flanker. He's come on at half time for Gala. But yeah, we wondered whether they would be looking to move the ball or kick the ball for territory. That's the first thing Gala have done, but they've handed Kelso the chance to get the early momentum.
They have, and you know, I had a feeling that Gala would try and gain some early territory, but it just shows when the kick doesn't quite go to hand. Dwayne Patterson, you know, he's electric off the an open play. So Gala, if they're going to kick, they're going to have to kick with accuracy. But looking at, I think Russell probably does have that bit more of a kicking attribute, and we'll see how they get on. And first scrum of the second half, and it'll be interesting to see what how Dan and Grant Shield get on in this front row with Euan Knox.
Yeah, indeed. That's the thing. Kelso are trying to build a strength and depth. They're quite enviable, really, to have likes of Grant Shields there and Euan Knox, who's played for a few years too, and Dan Gamble, who's back from Southern Knights. Dan Gamble was a player, Scotland age grade player, coming through the ranks as a prop. He was a back row originally, into a prop, and look at the difference. We've seen it straight away. Kelso have just absolutely motored through Gala at that scrum. Harry Borthwick has attacked off the back of it, gives the ball to Robbie Tweedy, and he's into the far left hand corner. From there, from a scrum on the halfway, I'm just talking about the difference at Grant Shields. In fact, yes, he has given the try in the corner. We're waiting for the ref to whistle. Kelso players were looking at him, but that's the difference, isn't it? Kelso have got that strength and depth. You bring on Grant Shields, former pro, Dan Gamble, who spent most of his time from sort of age of 18 in the pro ranks with Edinburgh, London Scottish, back up here. They just absolutely motored over the top of it.
Well, it is, and I'm a big believer in squad depth, and we were lucky enough at Hoyk to have that depth as well. When you're wanting to go to top four and places like that, you need to be able to bring on players who can make a difference. And when you've got the likes of Euan Knox and Grant Shield, Dan Gamble coming on, they won that scrum penalty, not even a penalty, just pushed Gall off the ball, and Harry Borthwick's been able to get down the blind and put Tweedy in. But depth's a massive thing, and looking at the Gala bench, probably that's where Kelso have that little bit of edge today, and Gala will just be disappointed with the start. They have the wind, they need to get down this other end of the park, and it'll be interesting to see how they now react, having had the elements, a poor start, and what they can do off the back of it.
And I suppose it just really crystallises that for the Gala players. The coaches will have told them how important it is to hold on to the ball. You can't afford. Kelso bring that kind of strength off the bench. I mean, as a coach, what is it you're asking those Gala players to do right now then? We've talked about holding on to the ball, but they've got to be clever with it.
They have to be clever with it, and I said just at the start of the game, sometimes a wind can go against you. You can go into half time thinking you're 17 points down, it's just going to happen, and the wind doesn't aid you at all, and your kicks start to go loose. You start to then run it when you are to kick it. So Gala just need to settle down. Russell Kerr, again, another good kick-off, and they've got a scrum on Kelso's 22, and this is the first real opportunity we've seen Gala in Kelso's half. So it'll be good to see if they can launch an attack, and if they can keep the ball and try and build a score.
So we're 3 minutes, just nearly 4 minutes now into the second half here at Poynder Park. Kelso with a quick early try there, start of the second half, takes them to 22-0, 22-0 leaders, and they have Gala have a scrum just at an edge of 22. Let's see if Gala can make a comeback, a nice early comeback. They pick the ball, they move it quickly, but it seemed to Andy White, scrum half, got his hands to it, but he's knocked it forward, and the referee has actually penalised him for deliberate knock on there outside. So it's taken up with Gala. Quick tap by Lachlan Johnson, the scrum half. He gets to just 10 metres from the Kelso line, and it's moved again, taken by Douglas Weir. Doug Weir, he takes on a couple of yards, but he's stopped, and the Gala forwards are trying to build a bit of momentum just in near the Gala posts. They're not moving it too far. It's one out. Glenn McCrum picks and goes, and then again it gets moved by scrum half, but they're not looking to move it too far, the Gala forwards, and here it comes now. They're starting to come wide. There's a big long pass out. It goes out to wing Richie Mitchell, but Richie's darting inside and outside. There's a cracking pass out to him by Russell Kerr, the new standoff, but Kelso were quick across to close down the space for the wee winger there, Richie Mitchell. He looks a bit of a quick speedy boy, but he's not much of him at the moment. A lot of the young Gala boys still got a lot to develop. It comes back inside. Gala still got possession, comes back in field, and eventually the referee gives a penalty against Kelso, I think, for coming round perhaps into that ruck the wrong side. It's against Keith Melbourne. He's a couple of warnings, and now we've got the assistant referee speaking to the referee. I think she's got an issue about how far back the Kelso line are, whether they're offside or not. The referee is speaking to Gala about where they want the penalty. I think
there's maybe a couple of penalties, is there?
A couple of penalties. Who's playing advantage, and you can have it over there, you can have it here. Gala are going to take it where they're standing, just 10 metres to the left of the Kelso posts, just a few metres inside the 22, and Kerr is going to stand off switch at half time. Yes, Russell Kerr kicks it 2-touch to give Gala a line out, just 5 metres from the Kelso line. So this is what we're talking about in the first half, Matty, about Gala holding on to the ball and making the most of these sorts of chances.
Well, it is. They'll probably not get many, so they need to try and nail this line out and build a bit of pressure. Put Kelso under pressure for once.
It comes in, but it goes over the top, just as we're saying. They missed the man in the middle. Euan Knox picked up at the back, charges through the first tackle, and he's out over the 22, gives Kelso a bit of a platform to attack from. They're moving it wide. Dwayne Patterson gets it. He's going to play it to Archie sorry, it's not Archie Barber right there. It is Robbie Tweedy on the left wing for Kelso, but he holds on and he makes another 10 metres outside the 22. Comes back in. Dan Gamble takes it from Andy Tate, scrum half, and then it comes into Bruce McNeil. He takes it at speed as well, and that's the important part. They're not taking the ball standing still, and eventually it comes back to Oscar Davies standoff. He goes through a break, and then he gives it to Harry Bothwick on his left shoulder. They're deep now into the Gala half. What an attack that's come from the Kelso 22, but they're moving the ball quickly. Gala not able to slow them down. Andy Tate spins round the ruck there, but he doesn't get anywhere, and eventually he's brought to ground. The ball comes back out. Dan Gamble again drives on with the help of Euan Knox, makes 5 metres into the Gala 22 now. They're in the middle of the park, and actually the referee has blown his whistle for a penalty against Gala, so it's going to go to Kelso. Kelso pressure, that's the danger of Kelso. From their own 22, they moved the ball to Robbie Tweedy wide, and the players have got Keith Melbourne, Harry Borthwick, Bruce McNeil now. These are players who really eat up the yards.
They are, and Kelso get front foot, and Gala, they had numbers up, but when one man makes a decision to come out that defensive line, it leaves another one exposed. And to be fair, Oscar Davies just picked off just put a dummy in and found a bit of space in that Gala defence, which to be fair hasn't been there all day. One player makes a mistake, and Harry Borthwick marches up the field with offload for Oscar, and now Kelso are looking to try and pounce with this line out.
So they've taken the line out, it's gone to Murray Woodcock, takes it down, and the maul is on its way. It's made about 5 metres. The referee is telling Gala to get back. Gala are furiously trying to get round to stop that kill. They've managed to do it. The ball's come back out from Keith Melbourne. Andy Tate wiggles this way, and he goes left, then right, then left again. He's stopped about a metre short of the line. Kelso on the far side, just under the scoreboard. They're trying to set it up again. Gala are keeping them out. Kelso looking for a player to take the ball on, but the ball's not coming out yet. They're looking for a very slow ball, so they're trying to set it up with the forwards. A couple of forwards linking arms. It's picked up another little go. Can't quite see who that is underneath that. The ball's coming back. It's a bit of a melee over there, and it's taken. It was coming back to Shields, but it's knocked on by a Gala player, and it comes back eventually to Frankie Robson, and he's just drilling his way over, and he's held up on the line there by Gala. Not quite over. Gala, the defence is tremendous on the line, and he tries to get it, but somebody wriggles free, and is that a try? He's given a try. I think it did. Bruce McNeil underneath all those bodies. No, he's coming back. Is he giving it a try? Is he? Bruce McNeil throws the ball away. The referee coming back. Yeah, the Kelso players are coming back, so I think it's a penalty, and he's speaking to the Gala. The referee's speaking to the Gala players and explaining why he's given that. But I think it was Bruce McNeil spotted the chance underneath all those bodies. He's just picked up the ball and dropped it down. A bit of belated clap and applause from the Kelso support. They weren't quite sure what was going on there, neither were we really, exactly how Bruce had managed to get that ball, but Bruce has got the ability in a lot of traffic to still find his way over the line.
He has, and when Kelso get as close as that to the line, you think it's inevitable when the try's going to come, and I think it's Bruce that came up with the ball. Gala just, they'll be frustrated with this second half. They started well, they got a bit of territory, but again, just a missed tackle in the halfway, and this is the quality of what Kelso bring, a Premiership side who, when given an opportunity, they'll take it, and credit to Kelso, they're playing these conditions very well, and it's a long way for Gala now to come back. They need something, they need points on the board quickly.
They do, and Dwayne Patterson's conversion held up in the air, and it didn't even look like he was going to make the post, but it goes just wide of the right upright. So no conversion there. Dwayne Patterson is finding it very tricky today, kicking balls over between the uprights. The wind is going left, it's going right, it's holding the ball up in the air. And I can see Kelso have made another substitute. I'm trying to work out who that one is. They've changed their shirt numbers, their jersey numbers. I think they've run out of jerseys. 24 in agreement. They could have 24 subs today. Gala have only got 22, which is what it will be for the league when they go back to league. But the Border League, they're encouraging players, as many players to play as possible. Kelso take the Gala take the restart, and they've kicked it long. They've actually kicked it dead. Gala there, so the ball's going to come all the way back to the middle. But Kelso very much on top in this game. They've come out and probably done exactly what Nicky Walker wanted them to do. They've managed to contain Gala. They managed to show some good defence there when Gala did have the chance with a couple of line outs and balls. They didn't get over the line, and Kelso have picked them off with a couple of chances to score early in this second half. The first try from Robbie Tweedy and the second one from Bruce McNeil, which puts them in a lead of 27 points to 0 after 51 minutes. And I can see that Bruce McNeil is off after scoring his try there. He's off, and we'll try and work out who that is that's come on for Kelso.
Looks like Jack Utterson's now on as well.
Jack Utterson. Good young player, Jack Utterson, coming through. This will be his first chance, having just come through from the Quins. He's been involved with Scotland under 18s. Jack Utterson, another good young talent that's come through from Kelso Harlequins and Kelso High School. A lot of work being done by coaches behind the scenes here to help develop a real talent and bring the youngsters through and give them chances. And that's one thing that Kelso have done for the last couple of seasons. Nick Stingle, I see on the wing. Nick will look like an older player now. He's only 23.
I know. It looks like Liam Herdman's on as well. Great to see him back. Missed all the last season with I think he done his ACL, so it's great to see him with the scrum cap on, back in the Kelso side.
So he comes in there at fullback, and Liam Herdman, another good talent, missed the season last season. So Kelso are doing well. They've got the strong, they've got big experience, Matty, but they're also managing to bring these youngsters through and blood them, which is a great time to do it.
It is.
So Kelso on the attack, they've got the ball, they're trying to attack from deep on the halfway line, but Harry Borthwick gets the ball and he's off again, and then he gives it, what a pass, it's gone eventually to Robbie Tweedy on the left hand side, but the referee's coming back for a penalty. He's blowing penalty quickly, he's not letting the boys go on. A bit of a wee fight over there. Robbie Tweedy, somebody sort of seemed to land very heavy on him after the referee blew his whistle, took exception to that. A couple of other players in to defend him. Jack Utterson not wasting any time to get in to defend his teammate. Young boys not slow at coming forward, but a good break there again. Jack Utterson at centre of that, which was great to see. Harry Borthwick, great break. Utterson onto Robbie Tweedy. Gala got across really well to close the door, but it just shows the Kelso's danger. They've gone all the way from deep inside their own half to an attack on that 22 in a flash of a...
They have, and you can see the structure now. Every player coming on knows and understands probably what Nicky's trying to bring, and I think Gala they're starting to tire a little bit, and I think if a couple of phases more, if they'd kept the ball, Kelso would have been in on either of the wids. Gala are getting really narrow, and that's just a case of players getting tired, because Gala have played a lot of rugby today. Even the second half they've struggled to play in the right areas. They just need to kind of regroup, and when they've got the ball, be confident with it. There'll be messages coming on for Lewis and Dean just to try and test this Kelso defence, but it looks like it's maybe been turned around, the penalty here.
Yeah, it has been, and the referee has been very clear in speaking to the captains. He's calling Keith Melbourne back again, having already spoken to him, I think our assistant referee Walter Gaffney having a chat with Keith Melbourne to explain what that was about, but it looks like it's probably that dust up. He's turned the penalty over and decided, and that's a wee warning for Kelso. Silly penalty to give away. They were attacking the 22. Long kick, great kick actually, from just outside the Gala 22. It bounces over Robbie Tweedy's head and into touch on the Kelso 22. There's a cracking kick by Russell Kerr, and we did say in the first half Gala were lacking a kicker. We talked about Harris Rutherford. He's a cracking player in the Gala ranks. He's missing injured today, but we know that he's going to come back and he's going to be able to play back from American rugby.
Yeah, I think that has to be a bonus for Gala. I don't know how long he's over for until his season starts again, but just looking at this today, I think the young young Rory Wilson done really well in the first half, but probably just needs to, try and get his kicking game worked on a little bit. But apart from that, he's worked well.
Angus Dunn flying away from there, and it's a great pick by Gala. Gala have gone from their own 22 into the 22. That line out came back. They flew about, but they managed to hold on to it. They've attacked in. Angus Dunn making a great break into the Kelso 22. They're now only 5 metres from the Kelso line, moving the ball out wide. Keith Melbourne makes a great big tackle, but Gala picking and going. This is the closest they have been to scoring in this game. Came very quickly, moved the ball quickly, and they've got a penalty. They've been held up. Looked like they were held up just on the line, but referee has given Gala a penalty. He blows the whistle again. He's wanting to chat. It's injury, it looks like there, but that was quite a break out of very little. When they move the ball, they're not holding it. They actually finding some space there.
They are, and we've said it all day. Angus Dunn, every time he's got his ball in his hands, he's made ground and he's made yards, but it looks like he's maybe just took a knock to his ankle. But what a break. He took 3 Kelso players with him, and Gala have just when they get opportunities in here in this 22, they just need to take them, and they've now got a penalty to, I think they have to score for here. That has to be the message now for the coaches, is to get some points on the board.
And it shows what they can do when they hold on to the ball and when things go to plan, because there wasn't a lot in that. It came to Angus, and we know what Angus can do. He can run through teams like a winger there into the 22.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. But it doesn't look great. I'm hobbling off here. Hopefully he's all right for next week. He's a massive player for them, and again easily could play in the Premiership week in, week out.
Yeah, it will be. That will be worrying. Having set up a great try-scoring opportunity, just been held up on the post. Gala now have a penalty. They're going to take a tap penalty just 5 metres from the posts, and but then they move it. Taken by Jack Eason, and he moves the ball. Gala trying to get the forwards behind there to push over, but Kelso are formidable in defence. They've got men behind the ball there. They're not letting Gala take any ball forward, and they're pushing it back. The referee holds his hand out. He's awarding a penalty, playing advantage to Gala, but it is a penalty coming to Gala. They're just 5 metres out. They're starting to get forward. They're moving the ball. It comes down to the back. Kerr does play the pass, but it bounces straight back to him off the shoulder of who Gala player it was running just alongside his left side. It was Jack Niven who was coming out his inside as they tried to move the ball there, Gala, but fortunately for them there was already a penalty coming, where they were playing advantage, and now the ball is with Jack Eason, hooker, who's looking to set up again. I think he will probably want to keep it with the forwards. He's going himself, gets to about a metre out from the line, but Kelso meet him, and then he moves the ball, a good pass out, a great bit of space there, picked up I think by Robbie Irvin, but he's held on the line. Kelso working hard in defence. Gala move the ball even further, going wide this time. I think they might got it. It's a try eventually for Ben Gill. They moved the ball. The secret there was Kelso were expecting the forwards to take it to them. They did, but then they moved the ball out, and then when they got it, they got fast ball. First real time we've seen them get a bit of fast ball, move it wide, and you're not stopping Ben Gill from 5 yards out.
No, you're not stopping him, and I think, I don't know who it was, but somebody jumped out that Kelso defence, and it just opened up for Ben Gill, and he's took his opportunity. Probably what Gala deserve. They've had a lot of territory the last kind of 6-7 minutes with that break for Angus Dunn, so it's well deserved, and good to see that Gala have now got on the board with some points.
Yeah, that'll please them, because Gala, they've been working hard in the second half. They've been working hard throughout the game, and they just haven't held the ball long enough to really turn it into a threat, but they've done that there. They came off their own line out. There was a great kick that really started it from Russell Kerr, that put it from his own 22 down to the Kelso 22. They kept hold of it off the line out. A great run by Angus Dunn. It's a bit of a shame for them that it looked like they've lost Angus Dunn with a bit of an ankle injury. On that conversion goes over. There's a great conversion from the right hand side there. I'm not entirely sure who that was that time, but so Gala do get on the scoreboard. Their hard work has earned that. We're now looking at just on the hour mark here at Poynder Park, so we still have 20 minutes of this game to go, and finally the Maroons have got some points to cheer. It is Kelso 27, Gala 7, and we'll head now to Euan down at Jed-Forest and Selkirk.
Thanks, David. Yep, 12 and a half minutes played here. We're a little bit behind you, having a little bit of a delay to get going in the second half, but Selkirk have restored their 14-point lead. It was a A well-worked try. The second half got underway with 3 big Selkirk attacks to start this second half, but the first 2 came to an end before they could convert the pressure into the points. First by the Jed defence, and the second was a foot in touch. And it felt like every time Jed were clearing the line, Selkirk would launch another attack, so it felt like a score was imminent. And then finally, Selkirk got a penalty, which they then kicked to touch, and from that line out they were able to launch a platform for a drive and maul, which again the impressive Corey Tate was at the back of that, and he broke free before offloading to the supporting scrum half Hugo Alderson, who has also impressed me this afternoon, and he dived over to get the 5 points, and then he, being the kicker on the team, he then lined up the kick and slotted that as well. So 13 minutes played here. It's Jed-Forest 7, Selkirk 21.
Sorry, there's big cheers here. Thank you, Euan. We're just noting a big try, well I say a big try, a try for Kelso, but we are surrounded by the teenagers of Kelso here round about us, and they were roaring for one of their own. Jack Utterson going in on the left hand side, he picked up the ball, and the excitement that grew from this young support here up beside us in the gantry right at the back of the Poynder Park stand was such that I couldn't hear you, Euan. So thanks very much for that update from Jed-Forest. We'll be able to come back to you to take us through that game because you're a bit behind us there, but we've just had another try from Kelso. And they're not being very charitable to Gala here today. Gala have scored a try, but it's still saying 0 on the scoreboard. Not sure what's going on there with the scoreboard, but Kelso are winning now. That's a try in again. A great score. But we were talking earlier on about youngsters coming through here at Kelso. They've made it their job the last few seasons to bring through, and it must be great to see from Kelso, certainly their point of view, but to see good young Borders players, Kelso players coming through. Jack Utterson's the latest, gets that ball. He took that like a winger. The conversion, you hear the big groan, the conversion from Robbie Tweedy there, I think it's come, or from Oscar Davies, come back off the post, so it won't be a conversion. Kelso are leading 32-0, but seeing young players like that getting their chance, and he took that try well.
He did, and it was again just off the cuff, and he's done well to finish that. For only being 17-18, he looks a big fella, and he's took over 2 or 3 Gala players over the line. So it's a big moment for a player like that. When you're making your first team debut, and one to get that, but then 2 to score on it. It's he'll be chuffed to bits with that, and he'll be looking to try and help aid this Kelso to get over the line today.
Of course, I just said 32-0 because I'm reading off the scoreboard, and it's 32-7. Gala have had a score in this second half, but pretty quickly Kelso came back at them, and they're showing that they are in control of this game. But Gala are still showing they've got plenty to fight for. They're working hard, as they have. Kieran McLaren's come off the bench, and he's taking the ball there. It was the Kelso crowd are not happy. The referee awarded a penalty against them there. Gala went quickly on the halfway, and they've been told they weren't 10 metres back. They were too busy arguing. I think they weren't happy that they lost the ball from their own ruck, and Gala now have the chance to kick it, and Russell Kerr's going to kick it. He kicks very well, Russell Kerr. That's a cracking kick from the 10 metre, the Kelso 10 metre line. It goes into touch just inside the 22, the Kelso 22, so it'll be a Gala line out. So we'll see what Gala can come back with. Kelso, you can see, have got the danger right across the park when they put it together. They've got a lot of players there, game changers right across their team. Be a different challenge for them in the Premiership. They'll need them, but they look like they've strengthened since last season. Gala now got a line out just on the 22. They put it into the middle as well. No, I was going to say it was well taken, but it was lost in the air there. It was Fraser Wilson that looked like he had it, and now the Kelso are away with the 13. Adam Hall through the middle of the park. Then it's lost. Unfortunately, the ball was dropped there by Cammy Thompson, but that looked like Kelso again. They're dangerous from it. Them coming away, counter attack. Gala not quite set up because it was their ball, and Kelso exploiting that.
They are, and I think Gala are just probably have played a lot of rugby and are just struggling to get in position defensively. Kelso, as we talk about the squad depth, Kelso, when you saw the teams on paper, you would always think they had the stronger squad. So Kelso are just replacing like for like, and they're able to find the holes in the defence. Gala, they're staying in there, they're staying in the fight. They'll be bits and pieces that Lewis and Dean will be happy with. So another couple of scores for Gala, I think they'll take that as a positive. And Kelso now will probably just want to try and ring changes. I would want to get everybody on now, try and get them bedded in, and make life for Nicky tough to pick a team for Watsonians here next week.
Yeah, indeed, and we can see that there's a number of subs on with both sides here. We've seen Sam Wood coming on there for Kelso, and that could be a debut for him. Sam Wood, another one up from the Quins, coming in there, and we've got Cameron Bryden on, Jamie Crooks on for Gala. Many people will know former Gala players, their fathers as well. Neil Crooks, Jamie's the son of, and Cameron Bryden, son of Robin Bryden. Good players of the past, and it's Kelso ball at the moment. They take it over halfway again. Harry Borthwick broke up the back of the scrum. He's giving it to Jack Utterson, who's away again like a winger down the left track. And he very unselfishly moves the ball out to Robbie Tweedy to give the winger a try, and it's Robbie Tweedy that goes in. Jack Utterson probably could have gone over from 5 minutes. He was stopped, he was being held, but he could have gone over, but he shows his unselfish nature there by making sure his teammate Robbie Tweedy gets in on the score sheet by moving the ball out. So again, Jack Utterson coming from nothing. Again, Harry Borthwick, I'm talking about Kelso knew they were going to have to improve after last season, because everybody's talking about Ayrshire Bulls. The Super Six is gone. Ayrshire Bulls, a lot of those players going into the Ayr team that will play in the Premiership. Heriots Blues, a lot of the Heriots players coming into that team that will play. So I think there's a lot of trepidation, isn't there, this season about how strong this Premiership will be, and it'll be stronger. You have to say that Kelso look like they have certainly strengthened for that challenge. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of talk, especially in the Premiership, where, as you say, Ayrshire Bulls talk of keeping 12, 13 players. They've Kelso, I think, out of probably all the border clubs, have recruited probably the best this season. To bring Dan Gamble in, Harry Borthwick, Adam Hall, Oscar Davey. There's a lot of players, and again, we speak about it. If you want to do well in the Premiership, you need depth. You can't rely on 20 players, as that just, it just doesn't happen. Injuries happen through the season, so squad depth goes a long way. And to be fair, Kelso, looking at today, are really strong in that front, and it'll be interesting to see how they, start their campaign next Saturday. Yeah, well, and it has been a good run out for them. There's no doubt about that. We knew that they were going to be strong, probably too strong for Gala today. Gala will be pleased that their hard work has got a try, but Kelso have been dominant throughout this game. And actually, I said it's Sam Wood. It wasn't Sam Wood. He looks a bit like Sam Wood, but it's Josh White, another new signing for Kelso, who's come off the bench. And Josh White, many people might see as a New Zealander. He's grown up there, but actually his father James White was a Peebles captain in the past. And he's come back from New Zealand, from Waikato. He's joined the club. He's a bit of a versatile back player. He looks like going to scrum half. But we're hearing lots of cheers because Kelso are on the ball at the moment. They're taking the game back to Gala, but Gala penalised. Kelso penalised for holding on to the ball there. Some good work by the Gala second row, Robbie Irvin, who managed to get over the ball, and Gala penalised for holding on to it. Kelso penalised, for holding on to it on the ground. Yeah, but Josh White, I've just mentioned there, started his life in the Borders, and his father James, as I say, was captain of Peebles before he went across to New Zealand. And Josh has come over, so there's strength coming into this Kelso team from all over. They've got lots of young players coming through. They've got the likes of Dan Gamble back, Harry Borthwick from the Knights. Just as I mentioned, Harry Borthwick's going off, taking a well-earned rest and getting a good clap from the Poynder Park support here. But they've got the New Zealanders coming in, Nick Barnes and Josh White from Waikato. And Josh missed the conversion, stepped up to take that last conversion, but missed it against the wind from the far touchline. So it stays here, 37 points to 7, just as we start to enter the last 10 minutes of this game at Poynder Park, with Gala on the attack. They're on the 22, far left-hand side, just under the stand here at Poynder Park. Gala ferreting away, trying to get the ball out. It's actually Cameron Bryden who's on there at scrum half, but Gala take a quick tap penalty. They're into the 22 now. Bryden moves the ball quickly to Gavin Fisher. The new prop here at Gala has come from Preston Lodge in the Edinburgh Academy system, Edinburgh age grade system I should say. He's joined Gala this season, so it's his debut today. He'll have had a really tough time with that front row up against the Kelso front row, but he stood up well. A good introduction to him, but that unfortunately not holding on to the ball again. Matty there was just letting Gala down as they were trying to get forward, but actually it's come off a Kelso hand, so it is a scrum to Gala. Referee has stopped play to allow a change to be made in the Gala team. They've made a few changes, and Glenn McCrum has been off, but he's coming back on again. Looks like he might be coming on for young Mr. Weir. Douglas Weir going into the... No, he's going back into the second row, and we've got Robbie Irvin, the second row, who in the Gala second row has moved to number 8, and yes, indeed, Doug Weir has come off. There have been a number of changes in the second half as both teams have gone through their subs. We've got a scrum to Gala deep into the Kelso 22 on the left hand side. Now it's moved inside to Russell Kerr. He gets tackled, he's only 10 metres out, but young Brighton, and unfortunately Gala, just as they were setting up to attack and bring some width, they get penalised at that ruck. Boy's not in supporting the ball over the boy over the ball. Matty, that's frustrating, isn't it?
It is when you get a bit of territory there. That's just again pre-season games, maybe a bit of tiredness in the legs by Gala, but Russell Kerr, to be fair to him, I've been pretty impressed with him this second half. Gala were down at half time. He's came on, he's tried to control the game, he's got a great boot on him, and there he's just showed his footwork, but just lack of support. And a team like Kelso, didn't give them an inch at ruck time, or they will win the ball back.
No, indeed. Jack Utterson going back to his trademark hooker duties, throwing in at the line out, but actually first one, he's finding the wind not so easy, and the wind blows that one to Gala, and the referee gives a squint throw. Jack Utterson so far in this game, we've seen him playing like a flanking winger, a left winger across there, so he is going it back into the front row there with two solid props either side in Grant Shields and Dan Gamble, but it's a scrum to Gala, so they've got the ball back quickly. They win, causing problems for the hookers today at the line outs, and Gala can attack the 22 once again. A ball back, can they hold on to the ball this time? But instead Gala have drilled them right off that scrum, off their own ball. The Kelso pack again looked like they had to do the upper hand. They drove them back, they got the ball, but the referee has pinged them for crossing as they try and get away from the 22. So it's a Gala chance again. Russell Kerr's got the ball in his hands, he kicks it into the corner again, and so once again Gala have got a line out 5 metres out. Kelso playing into their hands.
Yeah, they are. They're getting a bit of territory. I think Lewis and Dean will be probably a little bit happier with the last kind of 5-10 minutes. Gala's kind of controlled the game, and it was just that spell after half time where Kelso just took advantage of a slow sluggish Gala defence, and now Kelso have made a lot of changes, so Gala could do it, get across the score, across the try line again for another score.
Yeah, that's again, they lost the ball, Gala in the line out, but they managed to recover it, and they're attacking back in to the Kelso 22. Robbie Irvin just let it go. It wasn't easy in the line out, and then it comes back to Russell Kerr, and he's kicked a clever kick wide, but it's been watched, but it's been lost on the far side and picked up there by Wigan. He plays it inside. It's going to be a try for Gala. Gala made the most of a mistake there at the back. It was Liam Herdman. Unfortunately, the ball was Russell Kerr. We're talking about Russell Kerr. That was Gala. Gala were looking to pass the ball across the 22. The ball came back. They were wanting to bring some width to that attack, and there was nothing on because the Kelso backline were right in their faces. Good defence by Kelso, so Russell didn't have a lot on, but what a clever kick over to the far side, and he was hoping that Richie Mitchell might get on it on the far side there, or Ben Gill actually, right winger, but Liam Herdman got there. But the wind shows, you put that ball up in the air and you ask questions of your fullback, then it's not easy in weather like this.
No, exactly, and I think that it was something out of nothing there, and Russell probably looked up there and saw around 5 or 6 Kelso defenders coming for him with no options, so he's boot the ball, a clever kick, and Liam's just a bounce of ball, isn't it, in rugby, and Liam's just not got the bounce there, and Ben Gills took the advantage.
Yes, and that one looked like it was going over, but the flags have stayed down. A big conversion from Russell Kerr on the far side, so it stays at Kelso 37, Gala 12. We've only got 6 minutes of this game to go here at Poynder Park, and again, you just said, Matty, that the Gala coaches would be quite happy with the last 10 minutes because they've controlled a bit of the play. They've lost the ball, but Kelso have made some mistakes to give it back to them, but it shows what they can do, and that will lift them, hopefully. That's the kind of thing that can help them out of this border league match as they go into league action next week.
Exactly. Now, we have to remember this is Gala's first hit out of the season. Kelso's had this is their second game, but Liam Herdman makes a great break there.
Yeah, Liam Herdman making up for that lost ball in the air that gifted Gala a try there with a tremendous 30-40 metre break over halfway, now taking the Kelso attack on to the 22, the Gala 22, and Gala have got it, Kelso have got it at the bottom of the ruck. They move it out. Josh White playing at standoff on for Oscar Davey, the Irishman. Josh White, another new signing. He's moving the ball pretty well, looks like an intelligent player, makes a dart left, and then he goes through the first man, then moves the ball back, but it's intercepted. The ball comes back and it's been intercepted by Kieran McLaren. He kicks it ahead, a very clever kick, and it's going to be won by Richie Mitchell. He's going to get there first, the Gala left winger, and he does, and he touches down. Another try from very little. So we're just talking about Liam Herdman. Great break. All Kelso had to do was keep that ball, didn't they? And Andy Tate throws a pass out, and actually it was spotted. Kieran McLaren was alive.
But great bit of kick there for the forward there. If there's a player that you want on your outside chasing the ball, it's Richie Mitchell, that's for sure. He's just full of gas, and again, out of nothing, Gala just off the cuff interception. Kelso had the opportunity there. That could have went either way. If that ball had moved, that was on. I think Kelso were in the corner. So off the cuff, a great bit of individual kick by the Gala forward, and Richie Mitchell. You'll know if there's one man in a foot race, you'll know it's him.
Yeah, indeed, and he got the chance. I mean, they used the wind there cleverly, kicked the ball downfield, made it a foot race, and just gave Richie Mitchell the chance to show the talent that he has on the hoof. Nobody was getting close to him from Kelso first there, and there's a good conversion that's gone over from Russell Kerr as well. So suddenly that's changing the appearance of that scoreboard. They have managed to get Gala's points onto the scoreboard now here at Poynder Park. So all of a sudden to go from 32 points to 7 to now 37-19 in the space of about 10 minutes. That gives it a much better look for Gala here.
It does, and I think the Gala coaches will be pleased with what they've saw the last, as I said before, the last 5-10 minutes. They've made changes, there's been a bit of hunger about them, and Kelso just kind of need to get a bit of structure and shape into what they're doing. They're trying to play off the cuff a little bit, but again, they seem to be able to get to the edge of this Gala defence pretty easily.
Yeah, they do, and it's just holding. They're being called back there. Murray Woodcock was away again. Another very threatening attack, but losing. I think is it a forward pass. I think maybe the assistant ref giving over there. I'm not sure. Pulled it over there for a scrum. But yeah, I mean Kelso. We're talking about Gala have come back into it. They've done well in the second half. They've been rewarded. 3 good tries, well taken. But Kelso coaches will not be happy. Nicky will not be happy with what he's seen in the last 10-15 minutes. Kelso taking the foot off the pedal.
As a coach, it's always hard when you make wholesale changes. I think when they got that last score, there'll be 3 or 4 players came on at once, but this is what, as a coach, you want to see these players in this environment. I think Jack Utterson coming on has been outstanding. The front row's worked really hard, and there will be bits that Nicky might be a bit frustrated at. Just Kelso could have been away and gone, but they've kind of let Gala back into this game a little bit.
Yeah, and in saying that, the Gala scrum have just shoved Gala off the ball again, and Kelso attack now. They're attacking the 22. It's with Robbie Tweedy. He's come right across from the left wing down on the right hand side here. He's taken to ground, but they're still, the ball is with Kelso. They're moving it quickly. Big second row, Cammy Thompson with the big blue scrum half takes it on. Then Keith Melbourne gets thrown back on his backside, just trying to come round the side of the ruck, but Kelso still have the ball. They've moved it more centre field now. Andy Tate looking at the ball. He gives it to Keith Melbourne. He knows what he wants to do with the ball in his hand. He takes off a couple of players, throws them aside, and then he goes to the ground. The ball comes back. Murray Woodcock trying to make some ground, but actually the ball's gone loose and it's picked up by Gala. No decision there for it. Yeah, we've got a penalty from the ref. I thought we might see something. Not quite sure how that ball appeared there, but it's a penalty to Gala. So again, Kelso coughing up. Kelso in this second half, they've shown how they can score tries, from deep. They've shown how good a counter-attacking team they are, but they're going to have to tighten up, aren't they, in terms of holding on to that possession when they have it in these tight exchanges.
Yeah, they are, and look, Gala's probably given them a few opportunities early on in the second half, but in the last kind of 10 minutes, you feel Kelso just need a bit of structure in what they're doing. They'll not get it this easy next week here at home. they need to start building phases, because that'll happen in games where substitutions have to be made, and it's about how the players that come in understand the structure and the game plan that Nicky and the coaching team put in place. And there's glimpses of this Kelso side what we're on about, and the depth of squad that they've got, that they could threaten a lot of teams this season. And Luke, as a coach, he always frustrated that he didn't get that ultimate 80-minute performance. But there's points in this Kelso performance today that Nicky will be really happy with, alongside Bruce, and they can only take confidence this into their opener here at home next week, and it always bodes well to start your first game of the season with a win.
Yeah, indeed, there's no doubt about that. And yeah, a lot more plus points for Kelso here today as we reach the sort of 80 minutes on the clock here at Poynder Park. Still got injury time to play, but a lot of plus points for Kelso today. They've shown what they can do. They've dominated the game really, but they have managed to take the foot off. And as a coach, you quite like that too, don't you?
You do.
Something you can say to the players, okay, it wasn't perfect, there's things we have to work on here.
Yeah, and every coach will have that. Even I was bad for if we did have that ultimate performance. I would always find something. I'd come to train and be like this, and you could see the players that they've put in a good performance, and I'm nitpicking, but as a coach, that's what you do. You're always trying to better for the week before, and I think Gala, fair enough, on the scoreboard they've been, the points, don't lie, they've been outplayed a bit today, but there'll be points in there that Lewis and Dean, and I know Euan Robbie isn't here today, that they'll be happy with. A lot of players I've been impressed with in that Gala side, Fraser Wilson for one, Robbie Irvin, Angus Dunn, and especially Russell Kerr. I thought this second half he's controlled the game, he's got a great boot on him, and these players will, especially going into National 1, will put Gala in good stead, especially with they're at home next week as well. I'll probably have a bit chat with Lewis after the game, see what his thoughts are, but they'll go into next week with a bit of confidence that they can compete with teams like this. Yeah, definitely. And Gala got the ball in their own half. The scrum have been pushed back. They're learning how to deal with that. They've still kept the ball and they've moved it really wide. Oh, that's really unfortunate. The ball was moved wide there, and Richie Mitchell, unfortunately the pass wasn't good. It was in front of him. He had to try and grasp it fingertips, and he let it go. Gala showing that they can move the ball, but that's the challenge they've had today. As we said before the game, Gala have got a lot of young players, a lot of inexperienced players in their team today. They're missing boys away, whether through injury, whether holidays, weddings, work commitments. So there's a number of players not available for Gala today, but these boys will have learned a lot. They've taken the game to Kelso in the second half with the wind at their backs. They've made it difficult for Kelso at times, and had they hung on to the ball just a bit tighter, albeit in the face of some really stiff Kelso defence, they might have had a bit more joy. But as it stands, we're into injury time here at Poynder Park. It's Kelso 37, Gala 19, and we've had a good fight back from Gala in the second half, but I'm sure Kelso will be looking just to finish off. They're set up here with a scrum far right hand side of the 22, of the Gala 22. They're picked up at the back with big Cammy Thompson playing at number 8 now. They've moved the ball into midfield. Cammy Thompson over it again. It's moved to Keith Melbourne. Then it's moved to Murray Woodcock. He takes the ball on. They're going to go wide with the backs now. It's moved out. Oh, that's a terrible pass there from it wasn't Frankie Robson. They've changed their jerseys around, but I could say now I think it's Josh White wearing 12, or is it Sam Wood? Josh White, I think, there. And there've been a lot of substitutes in this second half, players moving about, and that was just a poor pass from Josh White. Went along the ground, and he was really trying to put Robbie Tweedy into that left hand corner. And another player coming on for Kelso now. It is Sam Wood, who I mentioned earlier, another 18-year-old, and again, great opportunity today for these young players to get on. We've seen Jack Utterson on the park. Sam Wood coming on, only 18, to play for Kelso, coming up from Kelso Harlequins. Great opportunity for them. So again, there's a number of players out there today who've shown, both on the Gala side and the Kelso side, that they're in contention for starting when they go into league action. Well, they are, and I think the substitutes that Nicky's made, there's probably players in that are nailed on to start next week here against Watsonians. I think there'll be a few positions that'll scratch the coach's head. Oh, what a break by Gala. We've got sorry Matty, got a great break there from Richie Mitchell. He got outside his opposite number, Archie Barber. I don't think he was ready for it, sleeping a bit, and Gala are taking it to the halfway line from their own 22. Looked like they were going nowhere, and in fact the ball hits the referee. But again, Richie Mitchell, there is a secret weapon as we hear the full-time whistle. Bit of a secret weapon there for Gala. You mentioned his pace, just outstripped
the Kelso support, the Kelso wide men weren't ready for that, and he was away to halfway. But the pass back, unfortunately, hit the referee, went to ground, and that allowed the referee to call time, full time on this game. Entertaining game here at Poynder Park this afternoon. We played 4 minutes into injury time, but it's finished with Kelso the dominant side. Kelso winning over Gala in this Border League match, first Border League match of the season, by 37 points to 19.
Thank you very much indeed to Matty Douglas and also to David Ferguson. We'll be getting some post-match reaction from David Ferguson very, very shortly, but it's not all over as far as the live action is concerned. Let's go to Riverside Park. It's Jed-Forest at home to Selkirk, another Border League match. Let's bring in Euan Welsh.
Thank you, Stuart. Yeah, we're still got a couple of minutes left to play here at Riverside Park. Selkirk 31, Jed-Forest 7 is the score, and the second half started with a bang. There was a couple of tries for the visitors, and then it just kind of plateaued a little. Jed have had a couple of chances, but really it's been a game for Selkirk to really dominate in, and they have controlled the game, and there'll be learnings for both camps as they prepare for the league campaigns and Premiership for Selkirk and National 1 for Jed-Forest. And we're going to get back underway through a goal line dropout for Selkirk. That was because it was deemed to have been held up when Jed thought they were over the line for a bit of a consolation try, but it was, as I say, held up. So Jed have the platform to attack, but they're going to have to do it from inside their own half, and they've managed to build their way just outside the 22 through a run by Jamie Hind there. And then Clark Skeldon follows up with a big crash ball, and then it's recycled into the hands of Jack Taylor. So they're inside the 22 now, Jed, trailing by a couple of scores and needing to put a smile on their supporters' faces, and that could be done by a strong finish as Shira Gibb takes it up on the far side but can only go sideways and doesn't end up making much ground. Recycled again through the forwards, just trying to break down the Selkirk defence. It's been so resilient this afternoon. Hind again. He had a couple of hard carries. The substitutions have been rung for both camps, and a lot of different players on the field, including Lewis Young, who's on the ball just now, and he was featuring for the second 15 team just a few hours ago. So nice to see him coming on for the firsts. And Jed have now won a penalty, and things just heat up a little bit towards the end of this one. Bruce Riddle and Clark Skeldon having a bit of a pop at each other. The referee pulls them back for a Jed penalty just in front of the posts, just inside the 22. Clark Skeldon with the tap and go, uses that aggression to then run at Bruce Riddle, and Bruce Riddle makes a tackle. Skeldon falls just a little bit short, but his tallness means he can just fall just shy of the try line. So they're closing on this try line now, Jed, as the clock in front of me goes to 40 minutes, so we must be just a few minutes away, given time for stoppages, and you'd think it would be too much for Jed to come back, but it'd be important for them is to at least get a bit of a consolation. They do so, and it is a nice crash ball that gets them over the line, and it looks like Clark Skeldon that's managed to do the final push to get over the line, and it is Skeldon, so that'll just make that scoreboard just seem a little bit more respectable. But Jed haven't played too bad. They've stopped Selkirk on occasion. I just feel like Selkirk maybe want a full throttle for a lot of the game, maybe treating it just a little bit like a pre-season fixture. Selkirk going in a game next week away to Mars, so that'll be a step up in class, and Jed have got to go to bigger, so no easy games for either of these two. As all the players are now just taking a drink of water. The sun has come out, so it's been a bit of a warm afternoon. The rain was here to begin with, but it just soon disappeared, and conversion's been successful, so Jed-Forest are now worked their way up to 2 tries, so they're on 14, Selkirk 31 in the closing stages of this one. Aaron Weatherhead, I think, that managed to slot the conversion. He's impressed this afternoon on his first competitive game for Jed-Forest, the youngster. Selkirk get us back underway through Aaron McColm. Kick deep into the hands of Skeldon. Douglas recycles. Jed still pushing to get another try, which would again narrow that gap. The ball goes out wide and Gregor Young manages to give it out wide, and then the ball comes back inside to Gregor Young, and Shearer Gibbs there in support, but he goes himself, and Gregor Young rolling back the ears, going in for another try for Jed. Quick answer back, and he's going to take the drop goal quickly, and it was successful. So there's now 10 points in it, 31-21 in favour of the visitors. And suddenly there's a bit of urgency in this Jed team, as again they're ringing some of the rolling changes and trying to see if they can claw this one back, but Selkirk just taking their time to get up to halfway. We're into added time on my stopwatch, but there was a couple of minutes where the game was stopped for water, drinks and injuries and such like, as Aaron McColm kicks deep into the hands of Robbie Shearer Gibb, who just spilled it but went backwards, so he'll regather and now launches a bit of attack for himself outside the Jed 22, so they're going to have to go from deep if they are to claw back this 10-point deficit. Stuart Johnson's arms are in the air. I'm not quite sure what he's shouting for, maybe offside. The Selkirk defence has been very quick up off the line this afternoon, just keeping Jed at bay as Jamie Hine brushes off young Oliver McClyman, and that's a bit of a size, weight and height difference. And again Douglas Rees cycles and comes towards the stand side himself. Robbie Douglas playing scrum half, and then gives it inside, and big crash ball just knocked back by the resilient Andrew McComb. Skeldon for Jed. Now it goes further wide. Ross Nichol into Shearer Gibb. Shearer Gibb carries are still inside their own half, but they're edging ever closer. Time is against them, of course, and there is a knock on. It's well regathered then by Selkirk, so they can try and keep a hold of this ball. You would think they would see out the game, although there might have been another turnover, but no, it's fell back on the side of Selkirk, who then get into the hands of Aaron McComb, who puts boot to ball and tries to catch Jed unaware. Lewis Young is back there to regather and puff at the cheeks, and then boot to ball. It kind of comes off the shin a little bit up in the air. Over on the far side, the road side if you like, here at Riverside. Selkirk now with a bit of room to run it as the Jed bodies tire a little, and Craig Bruce is nailed before he can get the ball away, but it's came into the hands of Oliver McClyman. He was one of the try scorers at the start of the second half. Now Aaron McComb sells a dummy and then takes two Jed defenders to bring him down. Now Jack Fisher for Selkirk, but with that knock on, the referee brings the game to a close. So it looked quite comfortable for Selkirk for most of the game, but just at the end there, Jed just thought they could put on a bit of a pressure. They did manage to get 2 tries back, and it finishes here. Jed-Forest 21, Selkirk 31.
Thank you there. Closer at the end in Riverside Park, 31-21 there to Selkirk. Riverside Park, of course, good to see Jed-Forest getting 3 tries in that game as well. Here at Poynder Park, it ended 37-19 in favour of Kelso, a late revival from Gala. They were 37-7 down, but they used the win to their advantage. A good breakaway try as well, and Ben Gill and Richie Mitchell also scoring. In fact, Ben Gill getting 2 tries. We'll be hearing from him very shortly. But right now, let's join up with David Ferguson, who is with Keith Melbourne.
Yes, Keith. So, give me your thoughts on that game. I mean, it's a good run out for you. Border League, it's competitive, it's intense. How do you feel about your performance?
Good overall. I think we just spoke there. First 65 were really good. We managed the scoreboard really well. We didn't let in any points until about the 65th minute. So it just kind of fell away in the end. Maybe boys are still a bit tired. The weather as well. Playing against the wind in that second half didn't really help. But 65 really good. The rest of the game pretty average, but definitely loads of positives and some things to work on still.
What do you go into a game like that, 1 week out from starting the Premiership campaign, looking for?
It needs to be pretty close to what a Premiership level performance. We said that, so it starts in the warm up. Even when we get in, it needs to be ready to go, especially with a big game next week at home. But it needs to be really top level performance.
And do you feel, I mean, you've got that, the other thing that you're looking for, of course, is you've got players coming in. You've got new boys, you're trying to find out, you've got a new hooker in there, you've got Josh White off the bench as well, you've got a new standoff, so a new man controlling the game there on Oscar Davey. How do you feel they went, and do you feel you're knitting together pretty quickly?
Yeah, so they're definitely doing really well since they came a few weeks ago, a month ago. Some of them came as well. They've blended in really well with the boys. Really good culture with them. They fitted in perfectly, and it's shown out there on the pitch. Each game that they've played, they've improved. Just learning little things like what spaces players run into each training session. It's getting better and better, and hopefully in the weeks to come and next week they'll perform to the best that they can.
And we've heard a lot of talk about how we're expecting it to be a tougher Premiership this year, with Ayr and the Super 6 gone, Ayr and Heriots, a lot of those players stepping down. But you've brought some good players in there. Dan Gamble, Harry Borthwick shown today, taking a bit of the weight off you, the ball carrying. That you look like you've strengthened for this season as well.
Definitely, yeah. Them boys, obviously they've played at the highest level in Scotland, besides obviously professional, but they've showed just in the professionalism, even though they haven't played it, that they've taken it up that level that we needed with Nicky, with the coaching as well. It's gone up another level, which we need with them teams coming down, definitely.
So how do you go into next week? Do you think you're in the shape to mount a challenge and emulate last season, top four?
We have to. We can't say we're going to do worse than last year. It can't be done. We're definitely aiming to be in that top half and in that top four again. We might sneak in, hopefully. But start with next week. We know it's going to be a really tough game and really good session on Tuesday and Thursday night, and then into Saturday. It's going to be physical, definitely.
Brilliant. Keith, thanks very much for joining us. You've done well today. It was a good performance here in front of the Kelso crowd, a lovely sunny day and good entertaining game. So well done. We wish you well in the Premiership.
Thanks very much.
We'll bring in Ben Gill over here, who has scored 2 tries for Gala today. Thank you very much, Keith. And Ben, it was always going to be a tough game. You've got a few boys missing today from Gala. You're going into a National Division 1 campaign, but in terms of what you wanted out of that, do you think there's some positives, even though you've lost the game, first in the wrong side of the 37-19 scoreline, but there are positives you'll take from that?
Absolutely. We knew it was going to be a hard test today, and we didn't really go into the game looking at the scoreboard. We're more just concerned about our performance and how we played. This is the first time all the boys have come together. So I'm pretty happy with the way we played. You know, we were against the wind in the first half, and that can be really hard to play against. So I thought we stuck in as good as we could in the first half, and then second half made a few silly mistakes. But when we started getting things going, I think we really showed what we can do.
And it was important, I mean, to stick in there. In the first half you needed a lot of dogged defence to keep Kelso out the periods, which you will have expected, but you showed in that second half what you can do when you keep the ball in hand.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, we've got a lot of talented players, and I think, like we say, once we get going, especially in the second half, we can show what we're capable of. So we want to move that forward onto next week. Cut out the silly mistakes. We can kind of iron that out in training, and then go into the Saturday and show what we can do. So.
Do you want to talk us through your couple of tries, because they certainly gave Kelso something to think about. You took them well.
I was just on the end of them. My teammates done the work.
good winger's job.
Just got to be there, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the pace, and it's interesting that both yourself and Richie on the other wing, Richie Mitchell, you've shown that there is real threat in that back line. When Gala, whether it's kicking wide or whether it's when you do move the ball, you've got guys like yourself and Richie with pace who can hurt teams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we try and work on it in training. You know, we've got other moves and stuff, but when it comes down to just like hands, good skill, bit of pace, you know, work on your kind of agility, your strength, and you know, just work on those basics and see what we can do. So boys like Richie and Murray Wilson, boys like that, you know, like they've really shown well in training, and I think it showed today as well. So 3
Wilson brothers united, first time we understand ever in Gala jerseys. It's been three brothers played together.
Yeah, we have a lot of brothers. This is the next set of brothers now.
Peter Dodds was telling me, of course, that earlier on, Peter Dodds having played with his brother Mike, but they've made a difference. The 3 boys together, and Fraser coming back, they're key players in the team.
Having Fraser back's a big plus. You know, he played with winning side last year in Hoyk, so he brings that winning mentality to the team. You've got Murray, who's been like a stalwart in the team now, and then young Rory today. You know, he got his first 45 minutes in the Gala jersey, and I thought he'd done really well. You know, he was playing a hard game with the wind against him, and you know, he stepped up. He was physical, and he was controlling when he got the ball. So
Yeah, so good for Gala. I mean, and in terms of what you take, I suppose there's positives and negatives. There are always going to be in pre-season matches. Border League, it's a good game. It's not just a friendly, that's for sure. About whether you play a team above you or below you, how much do you think you'll take from that? And how pleased are you going up against a team that's above you that you maybe weren't expecting to beat? Do you think that can all go well and give you more of a better preparation for next week than if you played a team below
Absolutely. I think if we go in with the mentality that we had today, next week, we're going to come out like quite well. I thought we matched up to them physically and mentally today. It's in the scrum, like the front row, credit to them. It was against a big, strong pack, and for the most part, we done really well. Defensively, we're very physical, especially in the first half. A lot of dogged defence, and then just an attack. When we take our chances, you can see from the second half that it pays off, and that's against a Premiership team, and Kelso are a team that went off into the playoffs last year. So the fact that we're coming up against a team like that, and we're putting in the performance, I think it's a good show for what's to come this season. So
definitely, Ben. Thanks very much for joining us, Ben, and well done today with your 2 tries. You took them well here, and I think there are a lot of positives there that the Gala can take into Highland next week when you bring them down to Netherdale. It is home in Netherdale, isn't it? Yes, that's right. So excellent. So I think there's a lot for Gala supporters to get behind there. You're looking like a good team setting up.
Good turnout next week. So yeah,
perfect. That's what you need. A good support in Netherdale next week. Thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. And yes, Stuart, it's been a good game today, a good Border League. We knew it would be. We knew it'd be entertaining. 2 packs going at each other, and also players like Ben and young players there on both sides. Finishing off tries. Robbie Tweedy in for Kelso as well. Jack Utterson both scoring in that second half. I have to say it's really pleasing to see these young players coming through and getting the chances in the first team.
It certainly is. We'll talk to you just before the end of the programme, but right now let's go back to Riverside Park because Euan Welsh is there. 31-21 it ended to Selkirk, and he's got a couple of guests.
Yes, thank you, Stuart. First of all, I've got Clark Skeldon. Clark, what's your thoughts after that Border derby?
No, I'll take the result of it. I think we're pretty happy with the performance. Kind of a young boy stepping up for the first time, and on the back of last season, I think it's a real positive for the club. And get to see the crowd we had during the day. I thought we put a good account of ourselves against a good team in Selkirk. Playing obviously a Premiership club. So now overall, pretty happy with the day's work, and it's definitely something to build on going into our week campaign next week.
Obviously, there was a lot of onlookers would have seen the score last week and wondered what the result was going to be the day. And I think at half time to just go in a score down, that was quite big for you guys.
No, it was massive. I think to start with, we were trying to implement our game on Selkirk, and we couldn't really do that the first half through our errors, and them obviously being on top. But no, we dug in well, and the team that went to Berwick last week, again, a lot of young boys getting a shot at senior rugby, so we never thought too much of that. It was more about getting boys and getting minutes in the legs. The focus really was Selkirk today, and I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves. Some young boys really stood up on the day, and some old boys, Paul Ferreira still able to do it. So it's a real good point to leave on going into next week.
And you mentioned the family fun day. It's been a good atmosphere today. That must boost your players. It was a tough season last season, but this was a good boost to start this season.
No, really. So the people that have come into the club have been full of really good ideas, and this is one of them. We've been blessed with the weather after last night to get a good day for it. Loads of kids doing and stuff, and that's what it's all about, and try to build that kind of family values at a club. So it's a great positive for the club, and obviously for the players. A good performance for everybody. So happy with that.
And just thinking, one eye on next week. I mean, it's a big game. It's obviously you're unused to being in that league, so it's a different amount of teams to be playing. You're going to have to adjust quickly, but it's not going to be, and no game's going to be easy in that league.
No, definitely not. I think and that one's full of a lot of good teams, and especially on the road, Biggar will never be an easy place to go. So we've got some new faces. I'm sure I can't remember the last time I played at Biggar, but they'll have a lot of new faces as well. So we'll sharpen some things up through the week and get ready to go there and put in a performance, try to get off to a good start of the season.
Well, hard lines the day, but thanks for coming up here and doing that interview. Thank you very much. I'll just bring in the winning co-captain, Aaron McColm, now joins us at the back of this stand. Aaron, what's your thoughts on that one today?
Yeah, I mean, positive we got the result. It's 5 points on the road, and it's never easy to come here and get 5 points. Jed are a stuffy side. It's always tough. But we'll go away. We'll look at the game and on video, and we'll do what we need to do to progress on to Mar next week.
And I think, at half time, the first half, you had a lot of pressure, a lot of possession, a lot of territory as well, but couldn't quite convert it into a point, and we went in at half time just 7 points ahead. What was the kind of message at half time?
I think just accuracy from us, as you said there, couldn't quite finish our moments, and I think just that last pass not getting in, and just frustration. But listen, we'll go back this week and we'll work on these things, and hopefully come next week and throughout the season we will finish these things.
Well, whatever was said worked, because at the beginning of that second half, 2 quick fire tries and kind of put the game to bed, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We made a big emphasis on coming out first 10 minutes and really putting it to bed, which we done that and we were happy with. But later on in the second half, we kind of fell off a wee bit, making a few changes and stuff. But boys have to come in and buy into what we're trying to do and really step up, because it's not going to be easy for us this year.
And just looking one eye on next week again, it's not going to get any easier. It's a difficult Premiership season and a difficult first game.
Yeah, definitely. Mar up there, it's never an easy start, but it's going to be a long old season for us, so we have to come together and really come together as a club, as a set of players, and take week to week as it comes and focus on the next game. But hey, we move on, and we've got a win today, so we'll enjoy our beers tonight.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks for coming up and doing this interview. Well done today. And Stuart, yep, that's us here. Finishes Selkirk 31, Jed 21.
Thank you very much indeed for your work today. Euan Welsh at Riverside Park, Selkirk getting the better of Jed-Forest in that one. Well, back here at Poynder Park, we've seen a win for Kelso over Gala. A good comeback from Gala, 37-19 in the end to Kelso, so they take the points here in the Border League, and Selkirk get the points at Riverside Park. David Ferguson's been with us, of course, all afternoon. And David, we're actually back here tomorrow. Not me personally, but I think you're coming down for the big event, also involving Kelso and Gala. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right. The Ailey Walker Memorial event, which means a lot to people around here, but actually means a lot to girls and women's rugby, those involved with that across the borders. We lost Ailey Walker, a great coach locally. She was really looking like she was heading to be a bit of a star in women and girls coaching. She was only 31 when she died, suddenly after a coaching session here. Sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, unfortunately. And so they're holding a memorial match here at Poynder Park tomorrow between Kelso and Gala. She started off in Gala. She was a Gala girl. Her dad, Timmy Walker, many people will remember, who played in the front row for Gala. And Ailey, as I say, was becoming a really popular coach here at Kelso ladies, Kelso girls, bringing loads of girls on. And Kelso women will play against, Kelso ladies will play against Gala Vixens tomorrow, with some help from the Berwick team as well, the Berwick players. So that starts at 1 o'clock here tomorrow. I'd urge anybody to come down and support the girls and women's rugby. Great spotlight for them tomorrow. It starts at 1 o'clock at Poynder Park. It'll be a great tribute and hopefully a great memorial match every year to Ailey Walker.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much indeed to David Ferguson. Now next week the club season starts in Angor. It's round 1 of the Arnold Clark Premiership and National 1. The other teams in 2, 3 and 4 will have their own cup competitions going on, but it's going to be very exciting. The big game no doubt will be Ayr v Curry. Ayr, who have recruited well from the Super 6 team Ayrshire Bulls, and Curry, who are of course the Scottish champions. We'll be covering that one at Millbrae. Also our commentary game is at the Greenyards. Newly promoted Melrose take on a very strong Heriots team. We'll also be covering Kelso against Watsonians and Embrackis v Hoyk, as well as keeping an eye on Mar v Selkirk and Glasgow Hawks against Musselburgh. We'll be taking a keen interest on National 1 as well, with 5 games in that division, so can't wait for all that to happen. But that's it from us for today. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.